Patrick?
Yeah, we got the mugs.
I want to buy it. I'm going to buy one.
You should.
I'm buying one.
That's a great mug.
Great. All right. Hello and welcome to the six.
Yep.
You sounded like the
Community
movie phone guy.
The movie phone guy, yeah. Hello and welcome.
Back to the old podcast. Me forgetting the names and numbers.
Yeah, once
There
we get
go.
past
Yeah,
a number
there, the
higher
first
than one
five.
hand. Yeah. Once you
I
get
can't,
past
I can't
one
count
hand,
more
you
than
can't
this.
count.
It's just it's out the window.
What I want to know
Out
is
the
what
window.
Patrick's other hand is doing. All right, never mind. Let's go.
Monitoring Twitter. That's what it's doing on the phone.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hello. Welcome everyone. Yeah, we have a guest with normal podcast. And we also got a guest. Hello, guest.
Hi.
Sweet.
So, we were reading the chat just as the podcast was starting, and
By the way, my
according to
display
chat-
name up there is very wrong.
Yes.
Oh, right.
The chat's
'Cause
calling.
Skype.
This is obviously our guest is King Gothalion, and apparently to our chat, you're an up and coming Destiny streamer.
Yeah.
So-
I'm very new.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very new to this. For any of you that just crawled out of the rock you were under and don't know who King Gothalion is, he's someone that I've been watching stream Destiny for a long time. Your streams are very entertaining. You do a lot of interaction with your fans. Is that a model that you use to build your Twitch stream, or how did you what was your core ethos when you go there? Because when I sit down at your channel, I feel like I'm being entertained.
I mean, yeah, I always wanted to feel like you were hanging out with friends. When I started streaming, it's like chilling with a buddy in the same room, like how I used to feel when you're doing like split screen with whoever, and that was really the main goal when I started streaming, was for it to not feel like lesser thans and someone on a pedestal, because I always hated that.
How long have you been streaming for, Goth?
3 years.
3 years?
Nice.
And you started with Borderlands?
Yep. Borderlands, good old Borderlands.
And was it similar? And was it a similar type of format to what you have in Destiny, or have you had to adjust your?
No, I think my format has always remained the same, regardless of what I've streamed, whether it's been Destiny or Borderlands or Pokemon or whatever. It's always been the same. I've always been me. Audience has gotten bigger, so you have to adjust rules and how you go about things, but the way that I've run my channel has always pretty much been the same. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's I guess that's something that you that's like the growing pains of becoming getting more than a few hundred people and you're watching you, and to a couple thousand people, to I think in some of the instances where we had big release days for Iron Banner and other the new expansions. Your numbers are in, I think I've seen as high as 15,000, maybe even higher.
Yeah, I mean during raid day, I think we hit 74,000.
Wow. Massive
That's
viewership.
insane.
At one point.
Yeah.
That's like more viewership than some cable channels get
Yeah.
during time periods.
Yeah, it was pretty insane. I mean, those days are more trying than others. Obviously very lucky to be in a position where I get to have those kinds of numbers, but they come with their own trade-offs.
Of course.
So,
yeah.
And what are some of those? I mean, trade-offs. I mean, is it your lack of personal?
No, I mean
Personal time?
there's people on the internet that are not good people.
No, sure.
You give someone a mask and they'll show you their truest face. And there's only so many times a day where you could be told to drink bleach and kill yourself before it starts to get you down. So raid days are hard, but I think I'm a pretty no nonsense kind of guy. So
Absolutely.
I'm glad that I'm in that position to be the meat shield. It's fun though. I mean, I'm very lucky, dude. All things aside, I mean, I can take a hit because I'm blessed to be where I am. So
Absolutely.
Well,
the
you've
big
got
questions out the gate, man. You guys are
I've been wanting to talk to you for some time, and I think that a lot of us have as well. But Septi, go ahead.
I wanted to know a little bit more about your origin on Twitch. I know you said you've been streaming for 3 years, but like, what got you into it? What was the spark, and what kept that spark going? Because obviously, a lot of people can start Twitch and then just get either discouraged or just not feel it or something like that. Like, obviously, there was a genesis right there. I'd love to just have like the goth version of that, telling a friend on a couch type of thing how you got started with it.
I mean, I got lucky. I was like a stay-at-home dad type situation. I was doing restaurant management for a long, long time, and started doing the stay-at-home daddy thing and trying to figure out something that I could do from home because my wife was a overnight nurse at the time, which sucked for her and for everybody else in the family. And I started doing YouTube as a hobby, and that started to go decently because I was pretty well known in the Borderlands community because I moderated on the Gearbox forums for like ever.
Mm-hmm.
So I was essentially, I wasn't quite a Cosmo, but I don't know who the mods are at the Bungie forums, but I was the guy who would ban people from the Gearbox forums. But I was also still me, so it was interesting. And then I started doing YouTube, and then I started doing Twitch on the side. There was a Gearbox community day live stream. Is 24 hours, and I had just started streaming on Twitch August 2013. And I said, I'm going to do 24-hour stream on top of that. And because I felt like there would be times where it's boring because I know Gearbox, and they cannot fill 24 hours with stuff. I just... I think I held like 600 viewers. It was probably one of my like first serious streams. But I knew enough people in the Gearbox community that came to my channel when Gearbox was lulling, not like LOLing, but like they were in a lull. Lull and lull. Lolly pops. And anyways, so then I got partnered. But back in the day, there were 2 tiers of partnership. So it's like you got partnered so you could play ads, but you don't have a sub button then. So you had to like hold like 500 concurrent to get a partnership. Anyways, numbers. So I started doing Twitch then, but I really didn't like take Twitch super seriously for a while. Like I got my sub button in November 2013. And then, I mean, I streamed probably like 3 days a week back then. And then Destiny came out, and woo! And I
Exploded.
Destiny
Nice.
took over YouTube. I mean, when Destiny came out, I had more YouTube followers or subs or whatever, 100,000 on YouTube when Destiny came out, and I had 38,000 followers on Twitch.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
would you consider yourself more of a Twitch?
Absolutely, I think
More Twitch now than YouTube. So that switch happened during Destiny.
I think that switch was always there, but the opportunity never happened. And one of the things about being successful in anything is knowing when opportunity is there, and also not exhausting yourself when opportunity is not in front of you. Like there's can always be effort, and then there's extra effort. And I think that when opportunity happens, that's when extra effort needs to happen. So it's being able to acknowledge those moments.
For sure.
Cheers.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've loved about your, rise in the Destiny community is you've taken time to look around and thank bring other streamers, smaller streamers with you. And that's, I think you're in large part why a bunch of the Destiny community is seen has created the environment, the welcoming environment where we don't see each other so much as competition as supporting each other. I'm kind of getting towards your work with the convention, the Destiny community.
Guardian Con now.
Guardian Con. I'm sorry, I was trying to think of the new name of it. But what was the genesis for that idea? When did it start? And
For Guardian Con?
for the one that we just had. When did that start? What what was the idea behind that?
The driving force.
Destiny Community Convention was an accident. It was a glorious accident, but it was an accident. Professor Broman had just moved down to Florida, and so had Miss Team KK, who doesn't live here now. And we were like, let's have a meetup. This will be great. And then Triple Rec was like, hey, I want to come. And I was like, uh-oh. because we had 2 months to plan, and it went from like the 4 of us to like 25 of us, and
25 content
creators. Yeah, content creators, which in turn became somewhere in the realm of 1,000 people that fit into a restaurant. So it was Sweatfest 2015. So it was an accident, but we planned an accident, and I did the best I could with that time.
Mm-hmm.
So that was exhausting. We did that, and it was basically like I stood in one spot, and Ben stood in one spot, and T and Trip, and Enraged Cinema, Prodigy, and a bunch of other people. Sorry if I didn't name your person. Sorry.
You'll get the hate mail later.
We stood in one spot and just like signed shit and hugged people and ate food, and I bought catering for 1,000 people, and it was awesome. And we had like an after party, and it was awesome. And it was just like this night of incredible joy. You know, it was like the manifestation of everything we'd done for year 1 Destiny right before the Take a King came out. So everybody was like so excited because Take a King looked incredible, and everybody was like, oh, and I was like, oh, and then but after that, Take a King came out, and then we remember year 2 and what happened like post November. It was like right after that. So everybody was like, what are we doing for DestinyCon 2016? What's that? And as soon as we heard about the April update and positivity kicked up a notch, it was at that point that I said, let's start planning. And that was that March? February, like late February.
You guys didn't even start planning that till March, really?
Yeah, because I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it because I didn't know what was going to happen with the game, and I wasn't gonna plan a convention if I didn't feel like the attitude around it was going to be good.
For sure,
like because there was so much uncertainty up until February, and then we didn't even know about Rise of Iron at that point, so it was still a gamble. And I mean that's one of my worries for Guardian Con this year, because I do feel like Destiny 2 is going to hit in September. We're going to touch base on that later, but it was when that uptick and positivity happened, and I was like, all right, let's kick it into gear. And I think we planned it in 5 months, and you got what we got this year, and we started planning for next year the day after.
Oh God!
Wow.
Community Con. So like it was me, Ben, and Kevin at Disney World. They're like, all right, let's start. So,
well, how did that conversation go? Because you obviously spent some time with them doing a plus, delta conversation of what went right, what went wrong.
mm-hmm.
How did that conversation go? Did you guys feel like everything was aces and you did everything right?
No, you can never do everything 100% right. Ticketing was an issue. But a lot of that, falls in whether or not the information's in the right ears. There's a lot of kids that didn't tell their parents that there were pre-sales. They flew from other states.
Met some people in the airport that went there.
We're trying to, yeah, exactly. Like, I think the goal that this year was to idiot-proof it as much as possible. Like, sorry, not to call people idiots, but I'm an idiot a lot of the times, and I like it when things are idiot-proof. So yeah, we looked over emails and looked at the complaints that were reasonable and the ones that were belligerent, and started to talk about what we could do better this year, and talked about how we could raise more money for charity and raise more money for a bigger event.
Nice.
And that's kind of crazy.
The same venue this year? Have you announced that yet?
The what?
Is it going to be at the same venue this year, or
it's in the next building over, which is about 1.5 times the size.
Nice.
I think it's 88,000 square feet. It's also a much nicer building.
Nice.
And it's also there's sound barriers, so it won't sound like a gymnasium.
Nice.
I mean, we did what we did this year, because I was talking to you guys about it before stream started, but for Destiny Community Con 16, I personally paid for every down payment for the event center and for the vendors. And that's money that I essentially paid myself back with shirt sales and ticket sales. And, obviously I'm good. I definitely split even on that money. The event was definitely a success, but it was a risk. And this year is much less of a risk. And we have companies that are working with us, and St. Jude that's backing us. And this year is going to be like what 2015 was to 2016 is what 16 will be to 17. It's going to blow people's minds. Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome.
So can you tell us any of those partnerships that you're working with, or is that
Nope.
to be announced? Not
I mean,
any world's
outside of St. Jude is going to be more involved. Yeah.
Some people might
Holtzmann.
not know they're listening, but like, can you talk about the capacity that was reached for 2016 and what you guys are planning for 2017?
We had about 4,000 people
Yeah.
in the event center for 2016. We had to turn about 2,000 people away
Wow.
outside
It's a lot of people.
because
It's a lot of
pre-sales
people.
were not taken seriously.
Yep.
And this year we are going to do 2 days, and our capacity is 7,500 people.
There you go.
So
That's a big increase.
that's a big increase. I think it'll be nice. I think this
Yeah.
year will be very nice.
Also, do you remember the final total that it was at we
540 some odd, or 54, something around there. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And so what
charity raised.
they're talking
Yeah.
about is raising money for St. Jude's. And
Mhm.
what I think is amazing is that you could have taken this as an opportunity to, I don't want to say line your own pockets, but
I
make
do
it
all right. I do all right.
I know you do all right, but we, you know, it's a great effort that was put on, and that money was raised, and for St. Jude's, and I think that's commendable. So kudos to you.
I mean, like Professor Broman was the charity director. You know, we all played a part, but you know, he's the one that planned the marathon and got everybody together. So a lot of credit goes to him, but I mean, all the credit goes to the community. You know, so I'm pretty much just fun dad. My job is to make sure that content creators don't have a shit time while they're there. I'm allowed to cuss on your stream, right?
yeah.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
good. Perfect.
Pope Bear kind of hit on this before, but a lot of people would give you credit for kind of shaping the Destiny directory as it sits, where positivity and community are a real focus.
Mm-hmm.
Did you happen on that by accident? Did you start streaming in Destiny with that in mind? Did you take that from another place and apply it here?
When Ben and I started seeing what was happening in the directory, like after launch of Destiny, him and I had a meeting, and we said, well, we had both been in situations where the person who was on top of a directory didn't help others grow, and they sort of kept it to themselves. And, our goal was to not be that. And obviously it's hard to completely shape traffic, because I can't not, if I'm online, I'm online. But we still wanted to enable others to grow and to help them get partnered on Twitch and be fruitful and, generate revenue. And so it was all about fostering an idea of helping people. And, so that was our goal when it came to what happened in the Destiny directory. So, I mean, like, I feel like be nice to people, and if someone's not nice, tell them to go fuck themselves. Like, that's always been my mentality. And, some people might be on the other side of that fence and see me as a bad guy because they don't see themselves as bad people. So
I think it deserves mentioning that you and Professor Broman deserve a lot of credit in that, not just the positivity of everybody's chat in the Destiny community, because I think everybody, I know I did, certainly. I mean, I took a cue from you guys saying, like, this is how they run chat, and it's just not acceptable to be an asshole in the Destiny community. And I feel like that goes from the top, where you guys are, all the way down to the guys who have like 3 viewers.
I think that is more on the backs of the people in chat, because, we might be at, the top fostering that behavior, but it's the people in chat that realize, oh wow, I can be a person here rather than I need to be a shell of who I am because this is the internet.
It feels very different than any other Twitch directory, in my opinion.
Does.
It does. Even the raiding thing, it's not super common in other communities to raid another stream after you're done streaming. But in Destiny, it's like that's just what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also a huge thing with helping the community kind of grow. Instead of just growing yourself, you're growing the community, which keeps the game towards the upper side of Twitch.
But that's
which
it's not a completely selfless process, you know?
Right.
You know, so like my idea was if you focus on just yourself, there's a limit. But if you focus on everybody, then your relevance doesn't dwindle. And everybody wins and other people grow. And so if everybody grows was always my mentality. So like, I'm still in that equation in my mind, but if I focus on elsewhere other than just me, then I'll still grow by proxy was always my mentality.
Makes
Twitch.
total sense.
Yeah.
Twitch.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, as much as I love interviewing everyone, I guess every week, we should move to some news because there is a little bit of Destiny news this week.
Absolutely.
A little bit.
Small
Let's go.
amount
There's
of
some
things to talk
stuff
about.
that happened.
Not very
Yeah.
controversial. I think it'll go pretty smoothly today.
Yeah,
No.
there's nothing to talk about.
There's no hostility in
Okay.
my blood.
All right, I think I got a
Trials.
topic. I got a topic for us to start about. All right, so Pope, you put out a little thing on Twitter, just asking the community, did you like the changes to trials, like the no radar,
Right.
no revives thing? And this poll ran for 24 hours, had 8,300 some odd votes on it. 33% said they loved it. 27% said fun, but don't keep it. 24% said change, but not like this. 16% said no change, old trials, please. All right, so now that we have that information in front of us, so
What would each person on the podcast today, where would you have voted in this?
Yeah, where would? Yeah, that's a good.
I
Yeah,
voted,
I
and
would-
I voted at the bottom. I voted for
No
I
change,
want
old
old trials
trials?
back. Yeah, I mean,
Patrick, what would you have voted for?
change, but not like this?
not like
Goth?
this.
Goth, what would you have voted for?
I enjoyed it day one. I thought it was fun, but I don't think it was for trials.
So
You
fun,
know.
but don't keep it.
Fun, but don't keep it.
Fun, yeah, but fun, but don't keep it. Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't get to vote on my own survey. They don't allow you to. So this
how
is my
would you
first
have
time.
voted?
I would have voted for loved it and keep it.
All right, Tefty.
I'm in between fun, don't keep it, and loved it, keep it. Because
You have
I
to
didn't
choose.
Well, the thing is, I've been talking about trials needing to change for a while now. For probably 6 months. Anytime somebody brings up trials to me on the stream, I'm like, it's kind of a stale mode in my mind, and things need to change, and so on and so forth. And I thought the experiencing no revives and no radar was fun, but don't change it permanently to that. But I want something in the future that changes trials because
That was
it
kind of the
forced.
thing, Tefty, is that while we were hearing all these complaints, and we're hearing a lot of complaints if you look at Twitter, if you look at Reddit, guys, it's just for a week, maybe 2 weeks max. Like, it's not a permanent change. It's just for fun.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't like it, hold on for a week and it'll be gone. Like, that's what was shocking to me about all the complaining we were seeing about this event was, it's just a temporary thing. It's just for fun.
I'm not
But is
surprised
it?
people were complaining though, because
Of course not.
trials is a staple.
internet.
But also for the Destiny community, trials is like the staple. It's like the end game for PvP. And when any of that changes, it'd be like there being rainbow burn on the raids one week, and then suddenly everybody being like, "What is this? Axis one shots me. I can't believe it. This is garbage. We can't have this raid like that." But it would just be like a fun change,
Yeah.
So I'm definitely not surprised that there was a bunch of complaining in the community, but I did really enjoy it. I was like, it's so
but
nice
there's
to-
always a bunch of complaining though.
yeah.
There is.
Exactly.
There's more
Did you
though,
get a chance to play
about
it,
this,
Goth?
I feel like.
Yeah, I play a lot of it. Went flawless on all my characters, but I don't know. I didn't hate it. I mean, like, I'm surprised that people who play casually, like, and don't have a team, or like said I'd never been flawless, and this week I went flawless. I'm surprised that happened because I felt like it required a greater amount of like team communication.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
It was highly beneficial to have.
Yeah, I felt like it focused more on the team than the individual, and maybe some people are used to being like the hero of the team and killing everybody, and doing the ultra carry. I
the
did
sniper
notice that the
rifle?
people. Yeah, I noticed the people who do like trials carries, like double carries over the weekend, struggled a bit more than usual.
Crafty was not
Um,
enjoying it.
Crafty did not love it.
Lumi didn't love it.
Lumi
Yeah.
The
didn't
game's
love it.
not built for Crafty and Lumi, though, right? It's like they are amazing examples of some of the best players in the community, but they can't design a game or a game mode around 2 players or even the top 1%, you know?
Well, Watts, you didn't like it either. Why?
So initially I was like you said, Brian, it's like, it's just a week, you know, it's fine, it's good. So I was in that mindset for a long time. I did find it exhausting to play for more than just going for 3. If you play it for hours and hours, it's just exhausting. Also very boring.
Why do you
Runs
think it was
took,
exhausting?
because you're constantly having to say where people are, which, by the way, I think if we're going to do no radar, I don't think the outline should be there.
Yeah.
If it's going to be no radar, then make it no radar. Make
For
it
a dead person, they can't see your outline right
Right.
around the map. Yeah.
Right. But then after it was exhausting because it was so long as well. The runs took so long. People were camping in the ceilings. They were camping in rocks. They were camping like everywhere. And I ended up seeing that I just wasn't having fun. If you weren't using a shotgun, you were at a severe disadvantage, which made it boring because you were only seeing shotguns. And just to bring up some stats as to why I didn't like it, and also the reason why I think a lot of people who weren't necessarily the most skilled people in the world were going flawless, there were 23% Matador kills for that weekend. Now that is just Matador.
That's just Matador.
When we're
Yeah,
Have you
talking
looked
about
at previous
shotguns,
weekends though, like versus
Yeah.
Matadors?
yeah, it's a big difference. It's a big difference. If you
Well,
go
on
on
a normal
Guardian,
trials weekend, how many? Well, I mean, Matador is new, so every
About-
weekend it's going
about
to get a little
8%.
more use. But
About-
I mean, that's
yeah,
no
it's about
surprise for
8%.
no radar though.
So
I mean, like,
8%
if you
to
take radar.
23%.
yeah, and it was about 40% shotgun kills,
But I think that
which
some of
is
that.
higher than every primary kill. Like the amount of Matador kills was higher than the percentage for every single primary kill. Now, like you said, of course, it's no radar and the map and whatever, but that is why people found it easier to go flawless, because they found it even easier to just run around with their shotgun.
it's very
and-
easy to flank people. You get
Mhm.
there are so
Yeah,
many
and there's
times
no
where you
sound
can just run up
cues,
behind.
I feel like
people.
that map is very conducive to it though.
Yeah.
Had they
flanks?
done the same event on, say, Frontier, I think that you would have seen a lot more sniper kills.
Mhm.
I think that's a garbage map for snipers unless there is radar.
True.
Yeah, it was a mixture of a lot of things, and it definitely, a lot of people were saying that it makes the skill gap wider. I 100% disagree with that. I think it closes the skill gap because Destiny is created around the radar. And when you take the radar out, we don't have audio cues. We have audio cues for when someone's jumping or shoulder charging or whatever, but we don't
or
actually
Jumping
have
or
footsteps.
Cyprania.
Yeah, we don't have footsteps. So someone can literally be running behind you with a shotgun and you won't be able to hear them.
That was the one thing about this map that, to me, encouraged no radar was the fact that those doors, which I normally hate in Trials of Osiris, they served as a cue so you could know when somebody was.
You know
coming
where
at you.
somebody's moving. Yeah.
Yeah, like they were like they saved me so many times in Trials of Osiris just because that door wasn't open a second ago, and like
Right.
my team's not here, so.
Well, how many of you guys played hardcore search and destroy in Call of Duty?
I did. But
Would you
Call of
say
Duty-
is it a playlist that you enjoyed?
I did, yeah. If I had a
So-
team that I like playing with.
Right.
Like if I had
So
a team.
the personal the audio cues being definitely a factor, but not for this conversation. Just set those aside because I don't think we can change that right now. But I think that when you switch the rules of the game quickly on people that play it every week, they're gonna be uncomfortable with it because there's a change in how you play the game mode. I found that Trials was a lot like what I experienced in hardcore search and destroy in Call of Duty, and that was one of my favorite game modes. You have to be very vocal. You have to check your corners. You have to work as a team. You have to clear rooms. You can't just go running in there by yourself. So I reverted quickly to an old way of playing that I really enjoyed. So I think that some of the uncomfortableness with what we saw in Trials of Osiris came because the change happened quickly and people don't have a chance to adjust their play styles and learn how to make it work.
There were so many things about it that, like, I was watching videos, of people who played it and didn't like it, and it really was a personal thing because like a lot of people were saying, you know, they should turn off the ghost or dead person being able to see, you know, the bodies around them because you don't have radar, so they're just telling you where you are. But like that came into the play so often. It's like, well, I know where the dead enemies are, so I got to stay away from there. Otherwise, they're going to be telling, you know, if I'm in a one-on-one situation, they're going to be telling the enemy where I'm at, and he's going to have information I don't have. So you got to remember where those dead bodies are.
Player
and stay away from them.
highlights should have gone away.
Yeah.
Player highlights definitely should have gone away.
Player
Like,
highlights
using
were
the
a big
doors,
problem.
Yep.
using the doors as audio cues, using jumping. I put on Dune Marchers. I never run Dune Marchers, but I put on Dune Marchers because I can stay on the ground and run super fast and not make any noise like I normally would if I was Titan skating.
Yeah.
Right? There was like, it changed gameplay up in significant ways, and it was just fun. It was refreshing, and it's not going to last forever. It's going to be, maybe we'll see it again this week. I doubt it. I think it's going to be gone. But it was just refreshing. It was a nice change.
Honestly, I felt the same way. I thought it was refreshing to Trials because, again, like I've been saying it for a long time. I feel like Trials is stale in my mind. I mean, if you still want the loot, then if you've never been false, then obviously there's a reason to play. But it just, for the end game stuff, I just feel like I've had enough of Trials in my mind. So having a no radar and also the no revives, like for me, I thought no revives was awesome. Because
I feel like no revives is fine.
Yeah, you can't have these super long played out rounds where people are just constantly doing these revive chains and have like a team win that went negative or beat a team that went positive. You know, like you have those instances happen because they had these revives happen because latency and revive behind the wall, even though they got sniped. You know, that stuff can honestly be annoying. And I just thought it was fun. I was like, okay, you died. You're out that round. Just keep it going. Mm-hmm. It did happen to bring it to the cap point more often. But this time around, the cap point was very fun because if you were guarding the cap point, you didn't know where the person was. You didn't have radar to tell you where that person was coming.
Right.
Or if you knew they were on the cap point, you had to figure out a way to try to sneak up on them somehow or catch them off guard in order to have that interplay because they couldn't tell where you're coming from. So it was interesting. You could even like bait the cap point, jump through the cap point, have it start going, and then leave it. They smash the cap point, then you turn around and gun them down with primary. It was great. Those were fun. I was like, oh man, I'm actually having some fun times in Trials again.
Change just makes people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that if you look at one of the things that was not, I think one of the things that I pulled that was surprising from this poll is that 74% of people voted for some sort of change. So I think to your point, Tefty, you're right. It's Trials is a little stale. And
in my mind,
maybe if that's one consistent thing that can come out and that's screaming out at you, is that 74% of people that voted on this, and maybe that's a reflection of the whole community, I don't know, but want to see some change to Trials. So that's why I was saying, Briar, who knows? It's maybe not be just this one weekend. Maybe enough people have talked about it in the community that they will see some of these changes happen in the future, and it's a good conversation to have.
I think that logically people need to come to terms with the fact that Trials will likely not be the end game PvP activity going into Destiny 2 if Bungie wants their game to succeed. Because as Tefty said, it's getting stale. I enjoy Trials. Like, Elimination's my favorite mode. But I acknowledge the fact that it's the same mode that was there when House of Wolves launched.
Yeah.
So the likelihood of that mode sticking around for another year is, to me, and I think the only
significant change to the game mode's been like heavy ammo. Now there's only one heavy ammo spawn instead of two separate ones.
There was that thing that came out today where people were talking about you could wave it off, but it was only private matches. And I was like, why is that in live? Like that should be in live.
I don't know.
That should absolutely be live.
Why is that not in live? Two, why was that not put in any sort of update? Like, why were we not notified?
I don't know.
Whatever.
I don't know.
Who snuck that in? It was like, don't tell Cosmo.
Honestly, like just in general, this weekly update I think was a huge missed opportunity to give a bunch of stats. Like you remember when Trials would come along, or even like the raid or challenge mode, and they'd be like, this amount of heat maps, this amount of people completed challenge mode, this amount of people went flawless. I think it would have been super interesting to bring out stats from this past weekend to weekends before and be like, hey guys, this is all the stats we have on Trials and the challenge mode and all this stuff. I think it was a big missed opportunity to not include that stuff.
Yeah.
It would have been super
actually
cool.
one of the tracking websites, I can't remember which one, they put out some statistics of how many more people went flawless this week compared to last week, and a surprising number of players who had never been flawless before went flawless this week. A bunch of people who had never gone flawless in year 3 hadn't gone flawless or went flawless for the first time this week. And I think that's great. I think it's great. Yeah. Yeah. No, a lot of people are finally getting to go see the Lighthouse.
Do you think some of that is because of like the core PvP community, just for one reason or another, did not like this week? I didn't play, so that opened the doors.
I refused to play it after the
yeah,
Friday.
There were some streamers that took the. I know, Patrick, you basically rage quit, right?
Yeah, no, well, we spent
Patrick abandoned me.
Yeah, I abandoned Watts. I spent 4 hours. We spent 4 hours trying to do it. I was like, I'm not enjoying this. This isn't fun for people to watch. They're not enjoying me not have fun. I'm not having fun. Why am I not having fun? And I just examined the game mode, put a video out on it, and figured out what exactly I didn't like, what could possibly be improved about this new game mode. I do think that this is a great, I really appreciate the changes. I love, a fresh take on the game mode. And if anything, it kind of exemplifies elimination as a game mode, because you kill someone, they're dead.
Yeah, they're eliminated.
Yeah, that's an interesting take on it. I just feel like it was a little more time in the oven if you want to make that into its own game mode. But for a one-time thing, cool, whatever. It's 1 week. I'm not running trials. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah,
I think you're right though, Goth. Sure. I think a lot of streamers, I think a lot of top tier players.
It's not even streamers.
Didn't agree with them.
Streamers are like the 0.000% one whatever of like nobody. Like the majority is the people who are at home playing the game, not on stream. But I think there's a lot of those people are very hardcore, dedicated PvPers that just said this week, fuck it, I don't want to play this week.
Yeah,
And a lot of them are young, and they're like, I'm just gonna eat candy because
I'm gonna play Battlefield 1 or Titanfall 2 instead.
Or they just put on Jug Shoddy and became true warriors.
God, what kind of a monster would do that?
Right. And Jugger crutch. Do you think the radar is possibly more of a crutch than we realize for a lot of people?
I honestly really hate people calling it a crutch.
I hate it.
It really triggers me. It triggers me really hard because Destiny was created.
The ability to watch your radar is a skill, I think.
It is. Okay. And also in Destiny, there's radar manipulation. There's baiting people into that place using your position on the radar to create something to happen. So being able to watch your radar and manipulate it and bait people by doing the radar is a part of the skill in Destiny, because that's just what Destiny was created around, was the radar.
All right, then wrong choice of words to say crutch. Do you think
it's the wheelchair of Destiny?
Right, like no, but where do you put it in your gameplay? Like, do you put it as like radar
the Matador
first?
is the wheelchair of Destiny.
There you go. Yeah, it's the thing
silly.
that gives life and ends life.
It's a silly, stupid gun. And I love it. Like, I tried so hard to get a Matador, and it's silly and it's dumb and it kills from ranges that are, more akin to, when I was using a 2 to the morgue with shot package on it, and yet these were considered OP shotguns. Yet the Matador it exists. They brought it back. They're like, oh, have fun, like give them cake. But
I finally got one the Thursday before trial started.
I felt like
so relieved.
It's a silly gun. It's a silly gun. I got one specifically for trials because I felt like with my Party Crasher, I lost every gunfight with a Matador, regardless of, unless I got the sneak on somebody. Like any face-to-face range shot, it wasn't about timing. It was about their shotgun was better than my shotgun for the activity. And there's no balance between these weapons. Like there's no up to that. Like the Matador is the crutch. That's but I will still use that crutch because it's fun to use. It's a fun
because
crutch.
everybody's
saying the radar. Saying the radar is a crutch in Destiny is like saying rolling in Dark Souls is a crutch. In my eyes,
dude, you be rolling.
It's a core. Yeah, it's a core game mechanic.
Suck at this game.
And when people say kind of it levels the playing field, it levels the playing field for kind of the wrong reasons. Everyone has the opportunity to use the radar when it's normally there, just as when everyone can't use the radar when it's not there.
As a Call of Duty player, or as a recovering Call of Duty player, I would definitely love to see some footsteps added to Destiny, even if it's not at the range that Call of Duty has them. Like just so I could have some awareness of somebody running up behind me.
They're actually there. they're there.
They're there,
I
but
can
they're
hear 'em.
yeah.
Do you enjoy having your ears bleed? Because turn your sound
That's-
all the way up, and you can hear it.
You'll hear 'em.
And then
Yeah.
when someone's shoulder charges, you'll just hear it
You'll just die.
for the rest of the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
There
audio
needs to be
keys
much
need to be
louder to
adjusted.
be a thing.
For whatever reason, coming from Halo, I've always disliked Destiny's radar personally. Coming from Halo, like because Halo, you could stop or you could crouch and you'd be off the radar, or if you're moving, you have a radar and you're a dot, and it just made a lot more sense. There's also times where I feel like lag, or netcode, whatever, actually affects. Yep, netcode actually affects the radar, because somebody will be like, "Oh, I'm right next to you in the radar," but in fact they're in the hallway next door, because for whatever reason the game didn't decide to update the radar yet when you're having those laggy situations. So I hope in Destiny 2 that the radar has changed dramatically. I hope it's a different system.
Yeah, I would like to see it change too.
I'd be cool with it being like the same kind of radar, but just smaller. So you could see like somewhat around you, but it wasn't for like 20 miles away.
Yeah,
I'd be okay
make
with
flanking
Oh.
easier.
There was a good point made in chat. I don't know if you guys called your chat a lot during
A
the
little bit.
thing.
A little bit.
that. Sometimes, but that's fine.
I mean, like the radar is relevant because 30 frames per second and reaction time is limited with 30 frames. And on top of that, the field of view is abysmal in Destiny. I would guess it's like 65. As we're a standard console shooter is 70 to 75, and PC shooters are at like 95 field of view. You are playing, and they say it's
Got
like
horse blinders on.
it's because you're in a helmet. Listen, okay, that's cute, but please, like peripheral vision needs to exist. Destiny eliminates peripheral vision. If I'm in a helmet, put a helmet on me. But if I'm supposed to feel like I'm looking around naturally, then like this is it. Like this is how you play Destiny. And without a radar, you don't know where anything is. If a guy jumps out of my LOS, which is line of sight, then I lose them without the radar. And I don't care how good you are. I don't care if you think it's a crush. If someone jumps above you, you don't know where they went, because they might have jumped and then jumped back. And there's no amount of skill that can account for that.
One frame of them jumping, and then they're just gone.
Gone.
So you didn't get to see which direction they jumped in. You just saw that they were in the air.
Yeah,
and then they're gone.
Yeah. So necessity. Yeah, I think.
Field of view
It's
adjuster in
worrying
Destiny
that
2
we want.
on PC.
Sorry.
I said field of view adjuster in Destiny 2 on PC. Huh?
If Bungie doesn't put the FOV adjuster in there, modders will. Like
That's true. It's
like,
worrying.
and you'll be able to go
that-
into an INI file. Like it'll be as simple as clicking a file and inputting a different number to change it, making the game better. Like wider FOV is just better for shooters. Better.
We
field
want
awareness.
60 frames per second, and we want a wider field of view. And I don't know if that's gonna. Those two things can coexist in Destiny 2.
Yeah. I want to go out for steaks with my buddies and see my wife naked that night, but
That's why they
I'm
made.
gonna have to make a choice. Have to make a choice.
Oh my goodness.
I think
Well, there
that's
was
the
a.
quote right there.
Did you guys start talking while I was gone? I apologize. I stepped out. Did you start talking about the Game Rant article that just came out?
No, this was a good article too. This comes from a earnings call from Activision, right?
Right.
And basically, it's Activision saying that Destiny 2 is on track for 2017. Nothing more specific about that yet. And they have a new way of content delivery that is going to be a very smart approach that will allow us to deliver the steady stream of great content to keep our players engaged and keep our universe alive and growing in the wake of that sequel.
Good.
I wonder what that could be.
I liked all those words.
I know, right?
Those
Those
words
when they're
sound
together.
nice.
Dig
Yeah.
it.
But
And
what I like about those words together is if they're true, because there was an Activision's meeting before the launch of Taken King that said there would be a major expansion to Destiny, followed by a robust stream of content.
Robust.
I didn't bring this up before because I want it to be a surprise. You're not prepared.
That's a strong point.
As
I
much as
remember that
want
now that you
to
say
be
it.
true. Yeah, that was the wording, and it's like I want it to be true, but at this point with Destiny, like I just have fun with it, and if good shit happens, yay! But if bad shit happens, then it's like, oh, well, bummer, you know? So I'm trying not to get my hopes too high. I mean, I think Destiny 2 is going to be great, but as far as content delivery and post, let's leave that to the wind and hope that it happens.
Yeah.
You know?
They did say that the incredible demand for Destiny content has somewhat outpaced our ability to deliver upon that demand.
You don't say.
Which I think is it's a hell of an understatement, but it does it does they do address the fact that, you know, Destiny players are not getting the amount of content that frankly we expected after year one.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I mean, they are taking our complaints from year 2, and I think they're going to be louder complaints from year 3, and, you know, addressing them with Destiny 2.
But
hopefully
wasn't that rhetoric though going into Rise of Iron, where they were like, we understand, like they sort of addressed missteps in year 2, and like wasn't, you know, House of Wolves Rise of Iron team joining live team supposed to solve that? I don't know if we've seen that yet, like that collaboration, because I don't know when Festival was completed, but I think the tell sign would be SRL.
Yeah, exactly. Because I do remember them talking about a Festival Lost supposedly being bigger and having more content, and didn't exactly.
There is more content. You just got to pay more for it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a lie, but it's all like, yeah,
it's not playable
like
content.
What I'm afraid of is that for SRL, they've said, oh yeah, we're gonna add things for people that, you know, maybe they didn't like racing sparrows, and it's like, hey, we added more microtransactions. That's technically not racing sparrows, and there's more of it.
Yeah, you can buy SRL packages and get these.
I remember a day when I would play Destiny to get things from Destiny.
Well, they saved me all that time.
And that's something that we've all talked about. I think everybody's either put out a video about it. Yeah, I know I've seen one, but from many of the YouTubers. But that's really what it feels like, is that they made some missteps with Festival of the Lost that maybe focused a little too much on microtransactions.
I wouldn't have any problem with the microtransactions at all if there was just more reason to play the game. There was very little reason to play Festival of the Lost.
For sure.
There was a lot of reasons to pay for Festival of the Lost packages. A ton of reasons. There's very little reason to actually
What are those?
Like 5 reasons.
Yeah.
Sparrow, Ghost, Devil Ghost.
Double Ghost. The mask.
Flaming mask.
Flaming mask thing. Probably missing something.
Yeah.
Oh, the ornaments. There we go. Six things.
Yep.
So are those ornaments going away after Festival?
No, they're adding into Radiant Treasures. After.
Oh, they are?
A lot of people actually seem to think that all of the stuff from Festival of the Lost was disappearing. In the comments section of my videos, I saw people are paying $70 to have stuff for 2 weeks so that it's going to be gone. I'm like, no, no one would do that.
It clearly says things that are going away. It clearly says on the item that it's going away.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
It does that.
The thing that I don't want to go away is the one thing I want to use in SRL.
The broom.
The broom, right?
They have to add that. They have to add that.
But she's so sad.
I just
broom
feel like
lady.
They can print out another
the time
one.
The time in between the April update and so the time in between Festival Lost last year and April update, and the time between April update and Festival Lost this year is equal. Yet we didn't see a massive improvement on Festival Lost, and I was personally very impressed with April update, like for being a free update to the game and adding longevity through the summer, like through at least a month of the summer. People were happy, you know, like people were excited about it. For having as much time as they did to create something worthwhile and better, they didn't. And that to me is disappointing, considering that it is their job to continue the life of Destiny 1. Like the live team, that's their job. Like they are supposed to keep this game on life support until Destiny 2 comes out. And that's why Chris Barrett and his team joined them. So things don't get so bad that the core audience gets super angry at it. And I don't feel like they did that job.
You know, they also justified the microtransactions, saying that this was going to pay for the further development of live team events. But now that we've had like the second live team event, like the same event, like a year has come around, like you just said, Gothalion. We've had the second time with the live team in charge. We've paid a ton of money to the live team, and we have not seen a significant improvement in content. So what's the money going to? Is it really going to the live team, like they said?
Did they ever say that, or was that in one of those?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was said
Okay.
to go to the live team to
Okay.
create,
so
live team updates.
In my opinion, they're not really following through with that promise.
No, they're not.
I
Where's that
feel
money
like,
going?
but if the rumors are true that Destiny 2 was supposed to already be out, then Festival of the Lost was never supposed to happen within Destiny 1. So
they knew when they started developing Rise of Iron that
Which
so they
started-
developed
Right.
Rise of
started around
Iron in that
February.
time. They could have used
right,
Festival of
but
the Lost for sure.
that's for during that development time. They also have to create not just one of the events; they're creating all of them at once. So it's a lot different to what people think. People think they had like a whole year to make something. It's definitely not a year. But I mean, I thought they could have made some very easy adjustments to Festival of the Lost to make it not frustrating for people,
Mhm.
to have people not be angry, and just add like a daily quest. Even if you only allow people to get,
Yeah.
14 treasure chests, it's a lot better than 3.
Seriously.
Agreed.
So yeah.
They could have
I
very
think,
easily given Eva Levante a rep bar.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to turn in candy for rep, and then you get treasure or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the community is now looking at SRL too with a very critical eye.
Mhm.
Like, is it going to be the same thing? Are we going to have, SRL races, but most of the stuff is going to be locked behind microtransactions.
Mhm.
Most of the coolest stuff that you want out of SRL is actually going to be bought.
Do
with
any of
I
you
hope- I hope
expect
not.
more maps out of SRL?
I do. I expect 2 more maps.
Yeah, absolutely.
Two is my expectation.
I really, honestly, I have a feeling they're going to see the backlash of the response of how we thought about the microtransactions, and I think they're going to respond to it. I really do. I think that might have
I
been
hope
like,
so.
yeah, I think Festival Lost might have been like a.
Man,
let's
they
see.
made some money off of that.
I know, but like they at the cost of what though? Like
The cost of us.
The response is somebody at Activision going to buy a brand new Lamborghini.
Activision made $1 billion in microtransactions this year.
So
Jesus.
they're down.
There's an article that got posted a
right.
little bit earlier.
So you can look
today.
at it purely
Lot of
from
money.
a Activision overlord type of viewpoint, or you can look at
that's,
it also.
that's across all their games, not just
Digitally,
Destiny.
Rise of Iron
Yes.
made more money than vanilla, so
Yeah. So I'm
the
looking at
money
it.
has been generated.
Exactly. I'm looking at it from the point of view of Bungie's not unaware that the community can get upset about things. They're very aware of that. And I think, at least I hope, because maybe I'm applying some rose-colored glasses here, but I'm hoping that they're factoring
You have
in
to.
community happiness with this stuff and then adjusting accordingly. Because I don't think that they're going to be like, yeah, it's okay to lock those things behind those packages that you basically have to pay for.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, they do have to continue making money off of these now, right? It's like once you
course.
give Activision and the investors a taste, all the money that something like Festival of the Lost can provide, they're not going to say, "Well, that was nice. Now let's change it up so we make less money."
And none
They're
of
not
the
going to
stuff
throw it
that
out.
there's-
I'm not saying that they're throwing it out. I'm saying
Yeah.
that they're like Bungie as a studio is probably saying they need to add more avenues to earn these things.
I feel like they underestimate the amount of money they could make if microtransactions were made a choice versus they need to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Had
Yeah.
rep
Right.
existed and then if you spent money, you got rep boosters and extra packages. Because there's people that heard about how shitty the drop rates of the Ghost and the Devil Ghost were, and they're like, fuck it, I'm not spending money.
For
Of course,
Yeah, yeah.
of course, there's people like me and Professor Broman who will spend gobs of money and try to get it, but we're streamers. But there's obviously people who aren't streamers who spent gobs of money just to get the things, but then they go to Reddit and they go to the forums and they go to Twitter and they say, wow, the drop rates are absolute garbage. I spent $80 and I only got one Ghost. And then you have the regular man who is mostly everybody who says, wow, I'm not going to spend $1. Thank you for doing the good science. Meanwhile, if they were guaranteed packages and spending a little bit of money would boost your chance of getting those things, but you're going to get them eventually, they would probably spend a little bit of money versus the very few spending a lot and the very many spending a little. I think that scenario earns Destiny more money, and I think Bungie fucked up. I think they're making the wrong bet.
I don't know. I feel like the science has been done on this, and that microtransactions are supported by the whales, like the people who do spend a ton of money. That's
It's
where
true.
microtransactions.
Yeah.
I know. I spent my money looking for that Wolf said. So,
I didn't get one.
did you get one?
No, I did not.
I didn't, and I spent
Gave up.
60.
Yeah.
So it's just
I didn't see
I'm
ornaments or
with
the
you.
sparrow either. Yeah.
Really?
yeah. I'm
Wait.
with you, Gothalion. I would have preferred to just go in there, especially someone that doesn't play as much as I do, as others do. Is just go in there and be able to buy one.
I did like how they gave the shaders out for free. Like by playing, you get the shaders. Like there were some positives to Festival of the Lost. You know, there was a reason to go do strikes again. I haven't done that basically since I was grinding up for the hard mode raid. There was a reason to go into the Crucible. There was a reason to like do some activities that there
first
was
2
some
days.
good to the fossil. Yeah, that's true. That's very
Yeah.
true. But there was some reason to play Destiny. I would just like to see them expand on that.
And they gave us
Absolutely.
more masks for free as
I
well.
want to play the game. Like I love the game. The game's such a fun game. Like the moment to moment action in Destiny is, in my mind, like in most games, unparalleled. Especially on the PvE side of thing. PvP needs a lot of work as far as balance goes, but it's still fun. I still enjoy it. You know, like when Destiny is good, it's incredible. But when they falter, it's deplorable. So
yeah, I don't know, that's why I think that I don't think we're necessarily, at least I think they're going to correct course for SRL and be a little more
I agree
aware.
with you. Yeah, I definitely agree with you.
Yeah.
I hope so. I refuse to believe they're going to do it until I see evidence of it.
I'm always an optimist. I'm like, oh no, man, Festival Lost is garbage, but SRL will be dope. But that's me. Like I like to hope. I like feeling like things are gonna be fun. So
Well, also SRL
You know
is
what's
an
pretty
actual
fun,
game
Gav?
mode.
yeah,
That's the thing that makes me feel positive about it, because it's an actual thing that you do. It's not just like, hey, there's a tower and there's stuff to get. It's like it's an actual thing.
You can go refill this little bag of candy and get some items that you can't delete from your inventory ever.
Right.
You know what's pretty fun though is the Clever Dragon Pulse Rifle,
Yeah.
which will be available
yeah.
from Iron Banner this week.
Prepare yourselves for nothing but clever dragons and matador.
Yeah,
I'm
if
okay
you
with
haven't
that.
Be a lot of clever dragons.
If
I'm
you
okay
haven't
with
been
that.
lucky enough to
I'm
get
fine
this
with
from the last Iron Banner, there were you had like 3 opportunities or 6 opportunities to get it, depending on how many bounties.
Not one.
But the gun is great. It's basically a Grasp of Malik. Has very good rolls on it. It's a very cool looking weapon, cool sounding weapon. It's going to be available as the vendor weapon in Iron Banner. That's coming out on Tuesday, which is pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm.
The machine gun's coming out as well.
Yeah, machine gun's amazing, by the way.
It is. It's really good.
It is very good.
Machine gun is, do not underrate that thing. It's one of the best.
It's fun and it sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
All of them sound awesome. Like all the Iron Banner weapons sound awesome.
Yeah.
And the game mode will be control, which will make a lot of people happy too.
Yeah.
Aw, I wanted Inferno Rumble. I mean, Inferno Clash.
Inferno Rumble.
I wanted
No, Inferno
Inferno
Supremacy.
Mayhem Elimination.
Golden gun.
It's fun.
With
That
jump
that
scares.
actually
Yeah.
sounds pretty fun.
Only cross-continental connections. Only.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
I had that today. I was testing some stuff for. I was testing all the new Titan exotics that came in, and it was like 4 or 5 matches in a row, 2 or 3 opponents doing the whole. Oh, I see it. Oh, Titans have blink. Oh, that's scary. I'm. Oh, so he's across the map now, and I'm dead to a shotgun. Okay.
Yep. Nothing wrong with the game. Nothing. Everything's working fine.
Yep.
It's funny though, because like I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, connections were so much better back then." I've been watching a lot of my old videos, and I'm like, "That's a lot of lag." There's a lot of lag everywhere.
Mhm.
It's always been laggy.
Connections have
Always
never
been.
been really that good in Destiny. I feel like Trials they were better in the summer, the first
Yeah.
summer, just because they prioritized it.
Yeah,
They
well,
were,
because there's more.
definitely.
There was more people playing. Like that's the thing
Sure.
that people don't understand.
Yeah.
When the player base dwindles, less people playing, which means you might get paired up with someone who lives further away, which means the connection's not going to be as good. And people love to blame it on Bungie or the netcode, and the netcode's not perfect, but the internet's not perfect. And if there's less players playing, then my chances of getting paired up against Goku from Guam is much higher than on day one of when Taken King comes out, or day one when Trials first came out.
Day one of Rise of Iron, I expected, or not. It wasn't day one, but the first few weeks of Trials of Osiris for Rise of Iron, I expected better connections than what I saw. Definitely.
Yeah.
It's definitely a connection. Definitely, connection is part of the enjoyment of it, but it's also what exasperates that is the seriousness or the desire to win in like Trials of Osiris when you get to that 8th card.
Yeah.
And I think that also is what pushes people over the edge when it's just not a Crucible game. It's directly linked to their ability to get a hard-fought victory. It's just like the way people get frustrated when they're on a final boss fight of a raid that's taken them 8 hours to get there and it's lagging out. You know,
Crota goes inside the crystal room and kills everybody.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Though.
Let's talk about Crota's End if we want to talk about
funny.
PvE.
I always liked getting to Skolas and then getting the entire fire team weasel aired. That was
God,
that
was awful.
That
we
was
look back at
funny.
this stuff and laugh, you know, like in the post, and when it was happening, it's frustrating. And you know, that's sort of what's happening now. Like the rhetoric around the community is very complaining, and I fall into it too. You know, like I complain and you know, I tried to pawn it off on, you know, I love the game, I do love the game, and I want to see it better. But part of me really wishes that things were more positive and people, you know, thought about what they like about Destiny and why they want it to be better. Because I think that attitude's starting to become very exhausting.
It is.
This deep into the game's life cycle, and it seems to be getting worse before it's getting better. And
Don't worry, it's only like 10 more months, and we're good.
Yeah, but still, you know, like I guess it's all perspective. You know, when Destiny 2 comes out, we'll look at right now and be like, oh, haha, you know, we'll all giggle and laugh about it.
Yeah.
But in the moment, it just seems it's just kind of exhausting to constantly be mad at the game.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly.
I've gotten to the point where like I just laugh and try to change it into something fun.
Something funny,
yeah, definitely.
It's I mean, because a lot of times it's hilarious that this guy is just teleporting around. That's hilarious to me for some reason.
It really is.
It really is funny.
It's silly. It's frustrating, but it's silly and funny. Did any of you try hide and go seek this weekend? If you did, like, for those of you who didn't enjoy the trials, Watts, did you try hide and go seek?
No, I was playing Trials.
You were playing Trials as you played Trials.
I was playing Trials. I didn't hide.
You should have played hide and go seek.
I didn't hide. I decided to just run at people. I was like, you know what? If you
what
guys
were the
are gonna
rules,
have to-
Goth?
Yeah.
The rules were if you made eye contact with another character and you know they saw you, that's when you pull your trigger. But until that moment, you hide. So
that would have made it a lot more fun.
It was a lot of fun. So I put on
besides the roof, where was the best? Where was your?
I was in the cheekiest spots. When I play hide and go seek, I like to get in the most obvious shitty spot there is. Like when we play in PvE, I like to hide behind the seeker while he's counting, like, and just hope he doesn't see me when he turns around. You know, so I like to hide in shadows and dark shaders and hope they don't see me. And when they do, I shoot them. You know, so
were there any spots below the cliffside?
Yes, there were.
Yeah. There definitely are. Yes.
Oh,
there are
definitely
spots on the cliffside, definitely.
Oh man,
for sure. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. You guys want to do some questions?
Yeah. Can I pee first?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
I'm gonna ruin your whole podcast.
Yeah, no, go pee. I'm gonna read the special little thing that I read every week.
What is it, Patrick?
A little something.
Try and read it from memory. Don't look at it. Read it from memory.
Yeah.
See if you can do it.
Like a long lost letter from your first love.
Okay, so let's talk about Blue, because no doubt you've noticed these wild mics and headphones that we're using. They're just some of the iconic gear that Blue creates. Blue's award-winning products are the driving force behind Twitch streamers, YouTube content creators. Their Blue mics deliver. Blue mics deliver insane sound quality. The Lola headphones are a very personalized fit. Okay, I'm fucking this up. Their Yeti USB mic is the internet's most popular microphone. Their MoFi and Lola headphones deliver insane sound and very personalized fit. So that's where I got messed up there. Blue offers everything you need to know completely immerse yourself in the ultimate gameplay experience.
Is it usually
Learn
this
more about
long?
Blue at bluemic.com.
I don't remember it being this long. I just hear, no
normally
doubt
not.
you've
First try.
noticed these wow mics and headphones.
There
That's
it
all
is.
I
I do not have that thick of a southern accent.
Yes, you do.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, y'all.
Like
It's
you
time to
pull-
No
get
doubt
you're
you've
about to pull
noticed
out your
these
6-shooter.
wow mics.
Y'all come back now, you hear?
God damn it.
I discovered something about my headphones that I didn't even know is that they're perfect for VR headsets because I got a gap like right
Oh.
here. So like the headset goes right through that little hole and like it doesn't interrupt with the earbuds or the padding at all. I was
Nice.
really happy about that. It was just a lucky accident, I think.
Happy accident.
Or is it just superior engineering?
Could be that too. All right. So we got some questions. Some of these are going to be really
wait,
directed. What's that? Go ahead.
God's almost back.
Man,
There he
that
is.
is a
Look at that.
nice looking chair. I'll tell you what.
It's like I'd put it in the top 6 chairs we've ever seen on this podcast.
Dang.
Tito asks, do you think the challenge mode was released without warning to try and divert attention from Festival of the Lost?
I don't know why they did it. You're right. I was just like, I think it's a mistake, and then they just went with it. It seems really weird timing. It just didn't seem right to me
They
at
did
all.
the same thing last year, though.
I
It just came out. They didn't tell
Yeah.
us.
A lot of people were pointing at a line in last week's, this week at Bungie, but it said after Festival
after
of the
this.
Lost.
Yeah,
They
because they're still
did.
doing that.
It did.
It's
So
not
after the
after.
masquerade party or whatever
I
competition.
think it's a week early.
Yeah.
It's a week early.
I think it automatically triggered, and they didn't expect it.
Yeah, do you think it's possible that it just was straight up a mix-up, and then
No.
while it was out, they weren't gonna pull it back and be like, "Sorry guys,
I don't think so.
there was a challenge." Yeah, you think that was intentional? Somebody at
I think
home
it-
base
I
was
think it
like,
was
"Let's do it."
intentional. I think the timing is weird. The timing was weird last year too. I mean, it's like what, right around the time that that SRL came in. I think it was mid SRL when the first challenge came, or right before or something. But they also didn't tell us last year. But there's arguments going out that like surprises are fun for the community, and they are. And each of us looks at this with content creator glasses. Where
That's
each of
right.
us wants to know when something is coming because like it's business. Like first and foremost, it's business. But also we want to share it with other people. Like us as content creators, that's at our core. We want to share the experience. We want to create excitement, and there's no opportunity to create excitement. So that's why my first reaction was like frustration. But then I got enough tweets where people are like, "Oh man, like it was a surprise. Like surprises are fun." And I don't know, maybe content creators like surprises to a degree, but also like to be able to plan, because I like to be able to plan.
Yeah,
It's kind of a double-edged sword for me.
There
I
has
think
been
the timing was
many
shit,
fewer.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, like we talked about it before, like before the show, where I felt that they should have done Festival Lost, then the 2 weeks, and then they launch Iron Banner, and then they do challenge mode, because that would have finished out November with events and things to think about. But right now, next week is Axis and also Iron Banner, which is weird.
yeah.
And then we got nothing.
And then after that,
until-
it's like, I don't know. I guess eat turkey, and then whatever's next. Yeah, the timing is weird, but I don't think it was a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
I
been
think it
less
was-
surprises for Rise of Iron than there were for Taken King 2.
I'm still holding
Definitely,
out.
there were so many
Yes.
surprises for TakenKing, and that was
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
I'm still
Did
holding
you
out
guys-
for that weapon.
Did
I
you guys
know,
have
Yeah.
any troubles with challenge mode or anything?
No.
Just figuring it out.
Yeah,
Just
just figuring.
Play
it
it. I haven't done it yet.
I watched Say No to Rage and Professor Broman's group do it because I was at a photo shoot.
Oh, was Lono with them? Or
You're at a
the
photo-
day-
No, they had two different groups. I was watching.
No,
two
Ramez was my replacement on day one. I was playing Pokemon
Nice.
because I was tired of being told to drink bleach when I was bad at a video game.
I did feel like the loot was raining from heaven.
Yes, you get a ton
There
of
was
loot
loot.
if you do it on
It
hard
is a
mode.
good ton of loot when you do it
Yeah.
on hard mode.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
You
will
guys-
help you.
What do you get when you complete it?
You get an exotic engram. You get a
Uh-huh.
hard mode drop of of special or heavy, and then you get a normal mode drop of special or heavy.
Yeah.
So from the chest, and then
Like on top of everything else.
on top of everything else, exactly.
So it's like it's a loot bonanza.
It is.
It is
Yeah.
a
Loot
loot
bonanza.
bonanza.
It's straight up a bonanza. The question that I have is, are we going to get an exotic engram every single week? Or is that like,
Or is it
kinda
going to
like,
be like
yeah,
Yeah.
like the Outbreak Prime chest where it was like, hey,
I
an
would
exotic
hope every
engram.
week you do it. Yeah, I would hope so, dude. Yeah.
The thing that's odd to me is that this time around they didn't have it drop max light level loot, as in it just doesn't immediately drop boom item level 400.
Light level,
if you-
max light level is very easy to get
Yeah,
now, though.
it is, but still, one of the things that was really cool about Kingsfall was like, here's 335 loot. And it's like, oh, great, but I guess at that time it was.
I always
kinda
felt like that
difficult
was
to
a
get
Band-Aid
335.
for how poorly implemented Smart Loot was in
True.
Kingsfall.
True.
And I think that was a Band-Aid for that until the April update came out and Smart Loot actually became smart. But then they also did one-to-one infusion. And I felt like that was too giving. The two things combined should have been one or the other.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my opinion, guys. A lot of you probably disagree. I'm a jerk.
It needs to drop max light level loot.
I kind of think that in the future, if they're going to go about this stuff, I think they need to change the name because challenge is very deceptive. It's not really a challenge. You're literally chucking the Siva charges at the door latches.
Mm-hmm.
It's
For, like it's a
As
coordination.
soon as the instructions are up on Reddit, it ceases to be a challenge. It's
What
a
would you
challenge
call
when
it,
you're trying
though?
to figure it out.
It is a
Yeah, I
If
don't
you
know
go
what
in there
else you
blind,
could
it's
call
a
it.
challenge.
a
It's
proposition.
not
Alternate.
challenging mode. It's
Alternate
challenge.
mode.
Yeah.
Developers mode.
Developer mode. It's something else. I don't know what it needs to be called, or it needs to be approached
Special
differently.
mode or something. Or, I don't
Special
know.
mode.
Yeah, it's like
This one's
it's like
super
secret
special.
mode. It's
You
like
gotta
secret
be-
mode. It's like do it in a secret way, and you get an extra loot drop.
Specific mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Specific
Well,
mode.
if you change that, you're
It's
gonna
a
have
terrible
to
name.
change
You know
heroic mode too. Because once you hit 390 light, that's not that hard anymore either.
Yeah, well, no, heroic signifies it's a higher light level.
Mystery mode?
Like it, you know what I mean? We call it hard because that's what we do in the community, but really heroic means it's like it has higher light level and all that. You know what's interesting? The Templar had a challenge mode, and we didn't like to get that extra chest. It's kind of like that. That was like the original.
The hidden.
Well,
The
that's
hidden
really true,
challenge.
isn't it? Do
Yeah.
you think there's something that nobody's figured out for Atheon yet?
I hope so. That would be so great. That would be
Wow.
amazing.
That would
If
be
Luke
amazing.
Smith has kept his mouth shut for 2 years about that, that'd be great.
He probably
Luke
has.
Smith-
Day after
Luke-
Destiny
Luke
I
is
have
a really
drank beers with that man, and he said nothing.
Luke
If you
is a
think about
master
it-
of deception. You
He-
learned that
He
from the
is.
Scarab
Yeah.
Lord quest line, which we need to get him on again. And I want to have him explain the Scarab Lord quest because it's amazing and his story is really cool about it.
Or when
Yeah.
he played WoW and he became a Scarab Lord.
Yeah, it's
Him
it's
and I are
Yeah.
polar heroes in World of Warcraft. He did the Scarab Lord quest, and I was an original Grand Marshal, which was the PvP side of things.
I was the
Which-
dude helping all of you get that bullshit done.
Dude, thank you very much for the honor grind. I appreciate it. That was the bullshit though. That was the
Mhm.
grindiest grind I've ever ground.
Yeah, you guys don't know
Right.
grind until you know the OG Grand Marshal grind in World of Warcraft. Well, that's for another time, I think. That's for another
Yeah.
time.
Hey, everybody in chat, slam drinks. We've got Netcode. We've got World of
Got a lot
Warcraft.
of
I
drinking.
mean, we've.
Sigo asks, this question is for Gothalion specifically. What has been the hardest part of organizing, maintaining, and growing Guardian Con from your standpoint?
The explanation of why the event is nowhere else in the United States or world for that matter.
By
That's-
the
yeah.
way, can you move that one up to Connecticut for the next
Can't
one?
do it. Sorry, dude.
Please? I mean, I'd really
Can't
appreciate it.
I mean,
It'd just
my
be so
only
much more
answer is
convenient
always
for me
that we live
personally.
here. And it's like it's very timely and costly to do it elsewhere because I don't know anything else around the country, and this is where we all live. So, but that's yeah, we get called a lot of names for not moving
Oh,
it
boy.
or doing multiple events. You guys should just do more events. Oh, really? Tell me
Like,
more.
yeah, let me do
Well, that'd be
that.
good. If you could do like 18 or so a year, that
We
would
need to
talk
really
more
take
about
us
fun
off
games.
the map.
Yeah.
Destiny Guardian Con East and West.
Oh my God. But PAX does it. Oh, really?
Australia.
Facts. Yeah.
Let's talk about PAX. Sure. Good question. though.
It's just, Matt, is it too late to get in on content creation for Destiny 1? Feels like everybody has covered everything already.
There's
It's
always
easy
a
one to do.
Not
spot
true.
that's open.
Yeah.
I think the worst time to get into content creation is at a big launch because
Yeah.
it's hard.
Everyone's
But
going
I
to the
think-
big people already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and everyone's doing it, and people who don't even play Destiny are coming over and doing it. So then you're dealing with all of those people too. So big launches are probably not the greatest.
There's a lot of homies that are getting like
Rising.
when I say homies as like as wide as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please.
Win your Hawaiian shirt.
But for real, there's like Guardian Outpost, he's the homie, dude. Like that guy's awesome, and he just got partnered. And there's
You
a
did?
lot
I
of
didn't
guys.
know that. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got partnered, and there's a lot of
Megany just got partnered too.
Megany.
I heard that,
Megany
yeah.
just got partnered, and Megany, also the homie or the homette.
The
The homette. A lot of people are doing great things, and they climbed the ladder. They worked hard, you know. And a lot of these people, like look at Sano to Rage, Lono. There's a stigma that you need support from people who are established in order to find success on Twitch, which is false. I never rated him. I met him in person like probably a couple weeks before he got partnered, and I knew of him, but him and I never had a relationship until post partnership, and he's doing great. Like, dude hit like 1,000 subs and is killing it. Leopard Stealth killing it. Like,
Same thing's happening over on YouTube too. New people are popping up all the time. If you got a good idea,
definitely.
or if you got something, just something, go for it.
Yeah, if you have great content that you can make that, like if you try to copy everybody, you're going to have a problem. But if you approach it with the idea of, oh, I think I could put this into my own brand or my own method of doing things, and you do a good job at it, chances are people are going to take notice. It's not going to be easy, and it does take consistency. It always takes consistency. But if you have the combination of uniqueness brought in with the content that you like making, and you're consistent, then you have a really high chance, honestly.
Even if you don't, you can develop that later. Just start
That's
making
true.
the content. Get used to like the creation tools and what you got to do to actually get the stuff live. And as you develop, you can develop the personality, you can develop the viewpoint, you can develop the style that you want to have, or that naturally comes to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Corbin Cadwell, do you think private matches are living up to their hype enough to help content drought that's inevitable?
I think we're gonna start seeing that a lot more in the coming
I don't think it was
weeks.
time yet.
Yeah, we still have stuff that's coming out for Destiny that's being released by Bungie, but as soon as that starts to go down, you'll start seeing a lot more private match stuff for sure.
I still go back.
I think January will be February will be when private matches really shine. And in post there.
I agree with that.
I mean, I feel like every time I've logged into Destiny in the last, 2 months or month, it's only been a month. Like since it hasn't only been a month. No, it's been like a month and a week.
A little over a month, yeah.
Month and a week since Rise of Iron came out. I think every time I log in, there's something to do. I'm not 400 on all my characters. I did 0 prep because I didn't see a point in killing the content I could do, which is grinding Skellyman keys and getting new engrams, and that's something that I saw a lot of content creators do. And like more power to them because they wanted to but I feel like you kill your potential. And this is a tip to content creators out there, is if you see a way to shorten the amount of content you can do when you're streaming, don't. It's not smart to do.
The other thing is like I've been starting to see a little bit more like a Destiny PvP tournament stuff happen. There's a tournament coming up this weekend. I think the Planet Destiny is basically hosting a tournament. There's a 4v4 tournament there, and then I saw ESL was actually streaming a Destiny tournament.
I didn't see that, really.
Yeah.
It
was ESL Italy, right?
Italy.
Awesome.
It was out of nowhere. I mean, obviously it was promoted in Italy because chat was full of Italians. But there were like 800-ish people watching around like 5-6 a.m. here in the U.S. Yeah, really well done tournament. It's fun to watch. I couldn't understand a word what was being said, but
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I think
I'm
it's
really
going
looking
to
at
start
more of that
happening
stuff.
even more.
Yeah, exactly.
I know that MLG is going to pick up a tournament. Like, I know that's going to happen. I'm really looking forward to watching it. Paul Pisagno, do you prefer the current format of game/DLC, what we are getting, or prefer the year one schedule we had? I think everybody's going to prefer the year one schedule, right?
Yeah, and I think that that's what we're shooting for. What we hope to see, I mean, is more content that doesn't create these dips and valleys, so that we can feel like we're, not on a drip line, like Gothalion was saying, and more of like, that we have a steady meals set aside for us that we know we can, get content on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hoping one of the improvements to Destiny 2 is on the development side. It actually provides development tools that are much faster and easier to work with, so that they can create content faster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How long does it take to actually like render in? Like, say they had to add a rock to the Cosmodrome, like it would take hours.
Based on that article in Kotaku from before the Taken King, it was like a full day, just to open up the file and close the file back out again.
It's also
That's
super
insane to me.
expensive to put stuff on console. Like really, really, really expensive.
Well, they've that's actually been lessened in the past like 2 years or so.
Yeah.
It has. It's still really
it's still.
bad.
I mean, it still costs money to do it
It still
too.
costs money.
It's yeah. So they could go, if they're adding too much stuff, they can end up going over budget, and then that's really bad. So it's a whole kind of mess when it comes
The
to
certifying
updating
process
the game.
is always. Really
I think
weird.
what most people just want is a return to the DLC format, less to this live team. Live team format is fine, but it does not replace the DLC format that we had.
I think
one
both
where
need
we
to
had.
exist.
Yeah.
In a perfect world.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, both exist.
Yeah.
And I think that's the world that should exist for Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Or they
Yeah, I
haven't
would-
planned properly.
Goth, do you think 2 raids a year for Destiny 2? Like, year one we got.
I think 2 raids a year.
Yeah.
I don't think December though. I don't think the December raid
6 months,
is
6
viable.
months?
I think 6 months. Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, like if we had raid 3 months later, SRL or some form of that, and then 3 months
No,
later.
I would
new
no. I
content.
would still do a December DLC.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would do like launch September event. DLC more akin to House of Wolves, maybe something abstract, something different, and then give the raid team more time. I think they need more than one raid team too, so they have a full year to work on raids. So I think like April, May should be a raid, and then September should be a raid, and then December should be just like fucking thumbs up fun stuff. Like if they would have reversed House of Wolves and Dark Below, I think they would have, like, year one would have been stellar. Like that would have created a different outlook on it, because the whole outlook when House of Wolves came out was like, oh, every DLC has a raid because Destiny Vanilla had a raid and Dark Below had a raid, and then House of Wolves, what is this crap? But if it went like raid, what is this crap? Raid, then what is this crap would have become something completely different. Like they should have with that structure there.
Agreed. Yeah.
Words.
Randall Perfected asks, Scotch, single malt whiskey or American straight bourbon whiskey?
Ooh. I'm gonna go with single malt Scotch.
I like
my-
bourbon.
He does say there is only one correct choice. So
Mhm.
I hope you guys are
I like
hope
my
you guys are
bourbon.
choosing well here.
I'm a
You like
big
the
fan of
bourbon?
Bourbons.
I like the bourbon.
Bourbon? Watts?
I don't really like either. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Goth?
Not a liquor guy.
Okay.
Not a liquor guy. But my buddy Professor Broman likes Scotch, and him and I have shared a Macallan. I think it was a 21, and that was delicious. It was very smooth.
Delicious.
That is an experience. That is an experience, though. That's not an everyday drinker.
Well, I find that liquor falls into that category. If you're drinking top shelf liquor, you have a different view on, say, vodka as being like a potato vodka, something from that's a top shelf stuff. You're going to think highly of, you're going to enjoy vodka. But if you're drinking vodka all the time, you're going to be like, oh my God, it tastes like crap.
Yeah.
So, liquor for me is something, if you're not buying top shelf, you're pretty much,
Yeah.
You're scraping the
Waste your
bottom
time.
of the barrel. I like
Yeah.
Scotch as well. I think it's delicious. It's fun. It's something that doesn't taste like anything else. I really like it.
Yeah, I love me some Bulla bourbon.
Yeah. I would.
Well-
I'm wondering what the correct choice was. So let us know next week.
Probably single mode.
Joseph Smout, what is the one thing you regret either doing or not doing in the past few years of Destiny?
Regret not doing.
What
if you did everything in Destiny?
Yeah.
Are we talking about in game or in content creation?
I regret not using my Fatebringer even more than I did. I miss that thing so much.
I regret not using the Pocket Infinity as much because now I miss it.
Oh, it was a.
Can you imagine how fun that would be right now?
Oh, it was a
People would
beautiful
hate it.
thing. It was
Yeah.
a beautiful thing.
So much.
It's still pretty. It's still okay. It's okay.
It's okay, but I mean, like,
it's not as good as it was. In
it's
year
very
one.
risky to use in a Trials of Osiris.
I don't know. For me, it's I would have liked to have participated in some of these world first attempts.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to, and it was exciting to watch my friends be a part of it, but definitely would have enjoyed doing that for Vault of Glass and Crotas, and that would have been a lot of fun.
I wish we never would have gotten it on King's Fall.
Why do you say that?
From my perspective, because now there's that expectation when that's just not our group or me.
Mhm.
You know, like I think it was a perfect storm, and it made this year's raid less fun on the first attempt for our group, and like that's just not the player I am. I'm not a world's first guy. Like I just want to go have a good time and beat the raid. So I kind of wish someone else would have gotten it. For a more serious answer other than the Pocket Infinity.
Well, that's now your thing, Goth. You are the world's
Now
first.
it's my thing, right? Yeah.
that is
my thing.
all you are, is the world's first.
I can definitely see your point though, because
Yeah.
like rushing through it that first time does take some of the enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
Although with King's Fall, if you didn't rush through it, it was going to be a 14-hour experience. So even if you did rush through it, it could have been that long.
Yeah. My biggest regret is probably dismantling the OG Devil You Know. That's my only real weapon I truly miss in the game. Like that's
What about not buying Galahorn when it was for sale the first week?
I
See,
did.
my story with Galahorn is I saw it and I was
everyone's
like,
story.
I'm not going to use that. But then I got it like
The
maybe
heavy
2 days
weapon or
after
heavy-
Xur went
yeah.
away.
That's dumb. Why would I put
I've had probably 40 Galahorns drop.
Dude, those,
So I was,
Yeah.
that was my
My-
weapon. It
those
was just my
Sunbreakers, you knew those were going to be clutch. So good.
It's an exotic.
You don't know when
heavy.
those are
When
coming
am I gonna
around
use an
again
Exotic
every
heavy.
week.
Everybody knows primaries are where it's at, right?
Right?
yeah.
I remember
Exotic
thinking,
primary.
it's funny to think back to that also being like, God, it takes so long to level up these exotic weapons. God, they take
Oh, it did.
forever. They actually did take a long time to level up. But it's funny thinking back to that point also.
It took
And then with
2
Dark
full
Below, you
days
had to go
bounties.
through them all a day.
Oh god.
Do it again for
Do you
each
remember
weapon.
that?
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
so
Remember
mad
that?
about that.
No, I remember because
Oh.
I did it for every single weapon, so I could re-review every single weapon. I had to re-level every single one, and sometimes,
Oh, the
like,
resources.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my God, Patrick.
it was great. Like day 1 and 2, people would be like, "Hey, I got one of the new exotics. You want to review the account? Sure, yeah, dude, thanks. Thank you. By the way, it's not leveled. Fuck. Just have to spend 20 hours leveling the gun just so I can start thinking of how good it is.
Right?
I wish that I had put more of an effort in that first Queen's bounty way back at the very beginning and gotten that ship. Because every once in a while I see that ship pop up. I'm like, damn, I missed it.
It's a nice
Think-
looking ship.
I think mine was just not raiding as much when Vault of Glass was like the thing, was like the raid. I was just PvPing. That's always what I've done. And back then I didn't really have a group that I could raid with frequently. So I definitely regret not raiding as much in Vault of Glass and enjoying that experience while it was still relevant.
Mm-hmm.
That first Vault of Glass experience was incredible.
Yes.
So good.
Yes,
like
it was.
the first Destiny raid. Like for perspective, our group went in day 1. We hit a wall of light because a few people weren't ready, and we went to sleep. We woke up the next morning, got light level, came back, beat Atheon. This is 18 hours later, got the 7th world kill.
Mm-hmm.
18 hours.
Yeah, I
Like,
remember
Jeez.
that.
Yeah.
that's Volta Glass was such a like that's why I'm so excited for Destiny 2, because I feel like it will recreate that experience, because
Yeah.
we'll be starting from scratch. I hope. I think.
Me too.
Like if they want to create a game that not only appeals to like, you know, Destiny's faithful, because they have to find a way to bring them back, but they need to grow the player base. And for people to constantly say, is it too late for me to get into Destiny? Which is what I hear all the time. That should not be a question going into the second game.
Yeah.
And I think the ability to have that first-rate experience is what would make that game feel the way that vanilla Destiny did. And that's irreplaceable for me.
Yeah.
As VOG. VOG day one, the atmosphere of it, just the sounds. The Vex were so menacing. Oh god, it was
Yeah. Yeah. The screeching, they just scream
Yeah.
at you. Wow.
oh, it's so good. So
Getting
good.
those-
I get chills from that first experience. So good.
Getting those raid weapons for the first time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All of the weapons back then, we didn't know what was good, what was
Okay.
bad.
I know.
We didn't know what the exotics were. Like we
Mhm.
had, we were seeing them kind of leak out.
And that is why
Yeah.
I'm so excited for Destiny 2 to be a fresh start,
It
because
better be.
that is what made me, I think, fall in love with Destiny initially. It was just, it was so different to other FPS games, and
Yeah.
having that mystery of, you get this weapon drop and it's yellow and you're like, what's that? It's like, what's this weird thing? And you use it, you're like, oh, it's an exotic and it has like this special thing, and everyone figuring out what's good and figuring out where you can get exotics from. So I'm really hoping that if they do follow the same exotic weapon format, that they do decide to put it a lot more in quests, and you can actually go out there and discover it, or hidden in story modes or whatever it might be, because I love the mystery of Destiny.
Yep.
I love the mystery.
Definitely.
It's
Do you remember the?
it's the mysteries,
Sorry.
and it's also the emotions that are attached to the experiences.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's why
It's
that's why in
3
year
of coins
two,
has ripped those emotions away. I
yeah,
think.
year two really ruined that when it comes to decrypting exotics at the Cryptarch, because then you have a bunch of memories of getting those exotics at the Cryptarch, and it's like, well, it's not
Yeah.
exciting because he's a condescending prick all the time. When you get that first exotic in the raid and it drops for you, that's a memory that you always have. And when you get that quest and then you finish the quest, you have memories associated with that. And I think they're going back towards that, but I want it even more so in Destiny 2.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, do in my opinion, take whatever loot distribution there is a formula for with Xur, and Xur should not sell anything but legendary engrams, and
Yes.
exotics should be in-game drops.
Yeah.
And it's just that's just my view on it.
I made a
think-
video that was kind of like this week, and it was one of my most unpopular videos ever. I was basically saying I kind of missed that year one feeling where you really had to grind to get the good stuff. You had to go in there. You didn't even know what you were getting. Exotics were very rare to get, and Vault of Glass weapons were hard to get, and Nightfalls were hard because you got booted to orbit.
You got booted.
There were all these things,
Remember
once
that.
you got those weapons from the Vault of Glass, they were useful in the Nightfall, which was still end game content at that point, which is arguably not the case now. People were really upset about that opinion because they're like, I didn't get any exotics in year one because it was impossible. I couldn't get the Vault of Glass weapons. I did it, I did it as often as I could, but I couldn't do it 3 times a week like you could,
Right,
like
the
Yeah.
Vex Mythoclast. Remember when it first came out and the people went into PvP with it, and it was
Oh
just
my
God
God.
I
tier?
got it a week before it got nerfed.
Did you have it?
Yeah, I had like a 5 KD that entire week. It was fucking incredible. It was great. And I was like I'm not great now, but back then I was like literal diarrhea in Crucible. I think the problem with Zerg, like backpedaling a little bit, isn't necessarily that he has exotics, but I think 3 of coins ruined exotics.
Yeah. A lot of
Three
us
of
do
coins
not
are the
like
problem.
their coins,
I think 3
yeah.
of coins are the
farming exotics is not a fun way of getting exotics.
No.
I miss them dropping in the Crucible, and
Yeah.
you see like blah blah got this exotic weapon, and you're like, oh my god, he got it. I do miss that.
That was my first
Yeah.
exotic. It was in the script in the middle of the game. It said Pope Bear has found the truth, and I'm like,
You're like, what do
no
you
shit, Sherlock.
What's the truth?
You unlocked the mystery of
Getting a
life.
Pope RNG.
And I had to wait until the end of the game to figure it out, and it was just this big moment.
And
for
then
me.
you and
That
then
was
you
my
had to
first
wait
thought.
until you were like level 20 to actually equip the thing too, because you probably got it like on your second Crucible game, knowing you.
I got an icebreaker off of a level 2 Dreg, like at level 20.
That's amazing.
So I went to VOG with an icebreaker. Everybody else had like nothing, and I'm just like popping the.
I loved like watching people clear through Vault of Glass on the first time through like with on YouTube and stuff, and seeing these weapons I had never seen before.
I had a
It's
red
like,
hand 9 in my icebreaker. Red hand 9
it's like,
icebreaker. It's so good.
what is this sniper? It's regening ammo. That's amazing. I want that.
Yeah.
And then you see him shoot Atheon with. He's like, that's doing so much damage. I want that now.
Another thing I'd like to see him stop doing is leaking the exotics before we actually get them. I'd love to see the first time we
100%.
ever see an exotic is once it hits the community.
We want the
Yes.
mystery.
The
I wanna know.
Instagram photos, the
100%.
stuff like that. No.
Yeah, we
Did
want
they
the
do that
mystery.
before
I
Dark
don't know
Below, or was that like a Taken King thing? That
was a House of Wolves thing. I believe.
No, they did show the Fourth Horseman before Dark Below dropped.
Okay.
Yeah, they showed the Dragon's Breath.
But was it
too.
in
yeah.
a
Dragon's
preview?
Breath.
Did they actually show what it was, or was it in a preview?
No,
Like it was the quad barrel.
Yeah, we saw the quad barrel thing. We saw Dragon's Breath. We saw Necrochasm.
Yeah.
The only thing, and then we saw No Land Beyond in like the PlayStation Experience build. So we saw all 4 exotics that were from that expansion before it actually came
They
out.
just got to cut that.
Kind of.
They got to
They
cut
need to
that.
stop showing us as much as they do. Like, even for example, when they showed us the raid in Rise of Iron and they showed people jumping from the top, going down. As soon as we saw that, we were like, okay, well, we know that we have to jump off that. I don't want to see that.
I actually, that's a good point. I would have loved, like, for that fight at the end of the Siege Engine, it's like, where do we go? Where do we go? I don't know. I watched the trailer. I know we got to jump off the wall at some point. I'm guessing it's coming up right here.
Yeah.
Like your
in the
first
Vault of
time
Glass,
after
staring
Templar
down that
before
cliff.
you jump down to the Gorgon's labyrinth.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like that
Amazing.
moment
Yes.
that you can't replace that moment of
No. Is
do
that
we
what we should
jump?
do?
Like
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
There's no question, like, because they literally show it. Yeah, you're completely
And then
right.
discovering the
Yeah.
ways to get through that maze. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that was great.
It took us a
Frustrating.
couple hours to find
That was
the path.
frustrating. Yeah, it was hard, but it was.
Part of me
really
wishes
cool.
that door would have changed position like every week. Like
Yeah.
in hindsight, like
Yeah.
change the Gorgon labyrinth every week. That would have been incredible. But
Oh
you
my
know.
gosh. Part of a weekly update video. Here's where the door is this week.
All right. Yo, what's up, guys? It's me, Gothalion. So this is where the door is this week. All right, see you later. Peace.
Oh my God! Please do that. The amount of content, the views,
I know.
is great.
That's a good question, Joseph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good question.
Colin Fitzgerald asked, if you could be on the development team for Destiny 2,
Yes.
what job would you want? Voice acting, map making, weapon design? Which job would you want?
I want some form of job on the live team because
Same.
look, seriously, when Bungie has time to actually sit and incubate and make the content, it comes out really good. It's fantastic. The thing that I think I might actually be able to
You
help
want to be
with
on the
is-
team that doesn't do that.
Yeah, no. I want to be on the team that, maybe make sure the live team, the game we're trying to sustain right now while they're still incubating and making all the other stuff, maybe like help that team out in some way, because clearly, like, they get some stuff right and they get some stuff so very fucking wrong. So I don't know, maybe I'd be able to help with that. And plus voice acting, sure, I'd like to do that. Yeah, just tack that on there.
I would like to be the on the team that deals with the ranked in PvP. The balancing and the seasons and the emblems and shaders, just the whole creation of ranked and keeping that environment. That's what I'm gonna do. It's probably not a team. I could make it.
No, isn't it called where engagement, player engagement?
No. Nope.
No.
No. No, we're gonna be making ranked. Ranked is happening. I'm gonna.
Well, yeah, I know, but I mean-
that's very coming.
Are you going to fix skill-based matchmaking, Watts?
Yeah, because it's gonna be out of regular Crucible. You don't need it anymore because there's a ranked
Watts for
playlist.
president. Let's
Right?
go.
Yeah, right? You just got my vote. We only got a few days to make this happen. We got to go strong.
We gotta get a campaign to get a guy.
Got the live team as well?
Me? Yeah, live team. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had several ideas for longevity, but I'm not one of those dudes. I don't know how to put my ideas to magic. So
Yeah.
I would definitely go into the voice side because I still want to be able to play the game and be surprised. If I'm like a part of the development team in a deeper sense, then I'm not going to get surprised by the content. And I would miss that. That would make me sad.
Tomo actually knew nothing about Rise of Iron.
Oh, really?
So he was asking me, he's like, what do artifacts do? Oh, that's a thing?
So Tomo knows about Destiny 2 is what you're telling me.
Yes.
Things.
So I think I think I would like to be one of the guys in the motion capture room.
You gonna wear the spandex
That's a
coat?
good one.
Yeah.
That's a great one, Pope.
Little dots
Would you
all
guys
over
be
me.
the guy doing the emotes?
Yeah.
Like you'd be in the green
I'd be
with
like,
the ping pong balls all
coming up
around.
with like all the emotes, and like karate chopping one, Bruce Lee ones, and oh yeah.
I think it's
I'd do
super
that.
cool that they made the proposal emote for that couple. Like,
Yeah.
Yes,
cool.
that
You
was
think that was
amazing.
but at the
very
same time, can I get that emote? Like,
Can you sell it to me?
please, like a little bit. Like, come on.
How many people have that Destiny internet crush that they want to just go there and do it?
I'll find one.
It's Dado. We already know, Patrick.
I would. I'd want to work on the raid team. Like I think that'd be really fun to help
That does
design raids. Just the amount of freedom you have to design new experiences for players in a raid is just unbelievable. It'd be so much fun, like bringing that concept to life.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
Audio aesthetics. Has DCP considered having a musical intro? I'd love to make one for you guys.
Hey, if you want to mock one up, we'd listen to it.
Yeah,
There is a
we got
theme.
ears.
The only problem
It's-
right now. Sorry, Goth. to
What's
cut you
the
off.
theme?
I was gonna say you guys should try the Guile's theme. It's great.
Guile's theme?
The
The way we have the stream set up is that we can't have music playing in the beginning unless we don't.
Oh, you just
talk.
have it
Figure it
completely
out.
muted, like
Yeah,
the whole
I
can
thing.
figure it out.
Well, I have to
Okay.
mute my desktop audio 100%. In order
You
Yeah.
can be on the YouTube version and the iTunes versions easily, though.
Yeah, you can put it. Yeah, exactly.
Great part about it, if you're on XSplit, is you can just play this one sound file. Just hit the play button and you're good.
I don't know. I kind of
Probably do on an OBS.
I like a music intro, but I like how we start out the podcast like, oh hey guys, you're here.
What
I
the
like a
fuck are we
cold
doing here?
Like,
Can we
Hey,
make
whoa,
a really
what are you guys
cheesy intro with like our actual faces?
oh my god, can we
Just
can we
do-
make like okay, guys, we all need to pledge to go to Guardian Con, and we
Okay.
need to film like a cheesy
The
The one where you turn
family
around like
sitcom style opening and
Yes.
film it while we're
Yes.
there. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I wonder if we can find a cheesy like a game show, like a 70s game show, and I wonder if we could find maybe. I wonder if Gothalion would be good as like the game show host. Like The Price is Right. Could you do Price is Right, or would you do Hollywood Squares? Oh, Hollywood Squares.
Squares. Like we already got it. We already got the Skype thing. The Skype will
Yeah, it's perfect. It's-
Perfect.
Rax asks, if you could only use one primary in the game for the rest of Destiny, what would it be and why? I gotta say Fatebringer, cause Fatebringer.
Yeah.
Fatebringer.
Since you guys are saying Fatebringer, I'm going to say the Vision of Cornflakes back in patch 1.0.
Oh, yeah, I can choose any patch.
Why
You want
not?
Vision-
Why not? I just made it up.
What?
Choosing Vex Mytho class before it got
Yeah,
nerfed.
Mytho class like vanilla, or hell, the Suros back then too.
Suros, oh my goodness. I was looking at a 50 kill game that I had with Suros and it just melted people's faces.
Yeah,
Like,
so good.
you saw them and they died. It was fantastic. I like the Suros.
It'd be pretty fun to
back
be the
then.
only guy with a year 1 Thorn too. To be honest with you.
Or but before Hawkmoon was nerfed and you get that like day one of Destiny.
Hawkmoon was good for PvP and PvE too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
Like, that was multi-tool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
yeah.
gonna go with the universal remote.
Be that guy.
Why not?
Listen, it's the answer to every situation. You need primary kills because it's a quest. You got the universal remote right there. It's universal. It opens everything.
Can I get you guys' opinion on something real quick here? So I see this posted on like Crucible Playbook and Destiny, the game subreddits all the time. chaperone and universal remote. Should they swap places?
Like what do you? Oh, like the chaperones.
Chaperone's primary, and then universal remote. You probably have to rebalance it.
What would be the point of using
universal remote? Had to be
remote?
completely changed though.
Yeah, it'd have to be completely changed.
There would be no reason to select that weapon if it was a second.
Yeah. The universal remote would be a really garbage secondary special. Yeah, it would be very bad.
Unless, actually, you could make it be like the sidearm where it always has ammo.
They already got one of those, the invective.
That's true. But no, when you respawn, like it refills.
Have you played with the invective? It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The invective erases supers though. Like those, like the fast firing shotguns have situations where they're very good.
Yeah, they
especially
do.
when they have final round bonus damage on them.
Yeah.
Like Fourth Horseman. No. Okay.
No.
Fourth Horseman's fun.
Goo.
I really
sounds
like Four
great.
Horsemen in House of Wolves days. That great gun was amazing.
Yeah.
Gavin Dent asked, do you think Bungie will ever be able to fix losses in trials for getting disconnected?
No.
They'd have to figure out some way to differentiate between someone just pulling the plug on their PS4 and a disconnection. And there's no way that's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, not that we know of, but yeah, that seems very unlikely.
I don't see a way they could do that.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe they just need to readjust what constitutes a loss.
Do you think boons really serve a purpose?
Yeah, I mean, maybe the whole boon system needs to be rethought. You know,
The boon, yeah, I mean it does. It's like I don't know. I think it's silly. Like, why even have boons?
Yeah, no, I agree. And if anything, if you're not going to redo boons, at least redo the passage coin system, because right now that's in a dire situation.
Passage coins
can
should
we
let you
talk
reroll
about that?
perks on trials gear.
passage coins. If
It's
you're
on
like,
armor, yeah.
if you just kind of go to the lighthouse every now and then, your passage coin situation is in a really rough spot. It's either you have a ton of them because you play constantly, or you have a ton of them because you lose a lot. And
Or you delete them. Delete all of them on accident.
I
Delete
deleted
all of them.
twice.
I deleted them all on purpose at the beginning of the Taken King because you used to get them everywhere. Like they
I
used to
bet you
drop
felt like an idiot.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
would
now-
I
probably
mean,
get
that's just
more
general
passage
state of
coins
being,
during your
Patrick.
passage. Yeah.
Yeah, now I
Yeah.
feel like I have to go in and purposely just lose 9
Get
matches in a
losses,
row in
You
order to
should
get
get
my
them
passage
for
coins.
winning, right? Shouldn't
Yeah.
you get like
You should
just
definitely
even
get 'em
just
for
one
winning.
for winning?
So
You
I
should
have
get-
a- I
you
have
should
a
get-
question.
You should get a pack at the lighthouse. Be like, hey, here's
I have a
20
question
or
for you
something.
guys. What if
Used
we
to.
didn't do boons and we didn't do the passage coins
Perfect.
situation where you start out and you have to get 9 wins in a row, and if at any one point you lose a game, all right, that puts you into kind of a loser's bracket. If you lose the second game, you've lost your trials card, right? But if you win, you're back on track, but it doesn't count as a win.
That
And
would
they
be an
got it
issue
all.
with
Hey,
connection because that would lower the player pool even more, and like either queue times would be ridiculous, or you would get queued up with someone across the world. That's the issue. Like on paper, your idea sounds great, but in practice,
we already match with Spain every single time we get to on win number 7 because there's no
It's
one
a
else in the
running
US,
joke.
apparently.
We have reached Spain. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
funny.
I
you know you
I
could
don't
do,
know
though?
why they don't just do it like, okay, you have to win 7 games and you get 1 free game. Like, just get rid of boons. Boons
Yeah,
are
I don't
pointless.
know. Yeah, I don't know why you need boons.
Like, it doesn't
Just
even
make
have to
it
be
the
like 9
default.
wins. Like, just
Yeah,
7
it's
wins.
arbitrary at this point.
Yeah,
I
it is.
think
It is.
what you could do though, I think Pope meant 2 groups, but I think actually you just get put into a bracket that says your next loss is going to kick you out. But if you win, then it brings you back into good standing. So maybe it's like a standing type
that's
of
right.
thing. So not
That's what I
necessarily
was- that's what I
splitting
meant.
population, but like once you get a loss, your standing is your card is about to go away if you lose again. But if
That's
you
not
You're on double
Yeah, I don't
secret
either.
probation.
yeah, but if you win, then it puts you back in line where you have to lose twice again if you lose. Or, I mean, if you
Yeah,
win, it would put it
Bungie
back.
loves 7.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
exactly.
Seven wins,
Yeah.
that stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it would eliminate like the whole
Double elimination.
farming passage coins things that you see in like round either 1 or 2 or whatever, where people are just losing on purpose, which defeats the whole purpose of trial.
It's
Like,
really silly.
Yep.
Game 1 is either a joke because people are jumping off a cliff, or so sweaty because it's also, well, I guess for us it's different because I'm sure you run into it, Watts. Like the first game is difficult because it's the easiest one to match up against you if someone's watching.
That's very true.
It's always like Kyle and his fucking Hulk friends who are like so much better at the game because they have 18-year-old reaction time and I'm 30. Thanks. You know what I mean, Watts?
I'm getting old. I'm getting there.
And then they teabag.
I'm losing all my abilities. Oh, the teabagging.
Then they teabag and say, GG, enjoy the bags.
Yeah,
Like,
and they come in the
GG,
chat and they're like,
sorry,
I
bagged.
love
That was
you.
nervous.
yeah.
Yeah,
listen,
right.
listen, can we
That's
be
exactly
friends?
what I do when I get nervous, man. My school teachers really hated that. That was awful
GG,
on
just
tests.
bagged you every single round. Also, can we be friends? You owe it to me because we beat you. No.
Yeah.
Speaking of teabags, Bildo T. Baggins asks, should the Destiny community observe No Shotgun November, and would the DCP crew participate?
I participate in
I
that
don't
every
use
week.
shotguns. I don't
I'm
enjoy
already participating in no shader November.
it. No, that's
No
Yeah.
shader November.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
It's
the guys Lucky and Buttwipe started the No Shader November, and I'm not only not shaving to bring awareness to prostate cancer, but I'm also not wearing a shader. So
Although if I didn't wear a shader, it would just be the trowels gear, so it's kind of fine.
Kind of looks fine. Yeah.
Kind of okay.
I would use a shotgun. Yeah.
Shotguns are fine. I mean, it's the current meta. It's whatever. It's the season of the shotgun. Let the bullet pellets rain. You know what?
Give me my year 1 Suros to go against the shotguns, where it does 45 damage headshots.
The shotguns aren't the problem. It's the
No, it's not. It's the primary.
Yeah, it's primary.
And
I mean,
movement.
like with the movement system that Destiny has, even if shotguns only killed at literally point blank, one shot kill, people would still one shot kill you all the time.
Yeah.
They would just get better at getting close to you. It would always happen. You know, primaries are the problem. It's not shotguns.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Agreed.
think shotguns are in a fine place. They're not that reliable a lot of the time. You know, you can be right next to someone and shoot them and they won't die. I
My
just think
Matador's
that-
really reliable.
Matador gives a lot of room for mistakes. It does.
Yeah.
Especially
Look,
with a
I'm-
storm
I'm-
color.
I'm
Yeah.
fine with using any weapon in the game in regular Crucible. If I'm doing Crucible bounties on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, I don't care. If I'm playing Iron Banner, I really could care less. Like, I'll play with the Ubertuber all day long just for fun. But when it comes to trials, fuck you. I'm going to use what gives me the best chance of winning. And right now, that's a Matador.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should be clear. I was only using a shotgun today because I had to review Titan stuff, and I might as well.
Wow.
When
It's
in Rome.
November.
When in Rome and
Already.
whatnot.
It's already
I know.
November.
Already.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Galler Gorilla 50, are you happy with the challenge mode so far? And what would you have done differently? I would have announced it a week early.
Yeah.
build the hype for it, right?
Yeah.
Get people excited.
Yeah, I don't know.
Everyone's-
Like,
I mean, like at the end of the day, the event seemed kind of underwhelming though. Like it wasn't a difficult challenge.
no.
Yeah.
The hype was figuring out how it worked. You
Right.
know.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
mean, Access is next week. I'll definitely be on it launch for Destiny next week, trying to figure that
Do
one
we-
out.
Do we know
think,
what time it's going to like go live? Because this
it-
week
it
it
went-
went live at
2
like
o'clock.
it-
2 o'clock
Did it?
Eastern.
There's one,
like,
right?
yeah, it went live at like 1 Central, 2 Eastern. Yeah, for me.
Did it?
So it's like
2 Eastern?
that's- it was at it
PM?
went live at a really odd time. So
Yeah.
PM, so they literally hit a switch and we're like,
This is
Yeah,
Iron
about right
Banner
now.
time. That's the same time Iron Banner goes live.
no, that's an hour after.
yeah, Iron
That's an
Banner
hour
goes 10 a.m. Pacific.
10.
Interesting.
Okay.
It's just gonna show up.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Right-
I didn't-
right about
I
now.
thought they were lying to me. Like, what are these trolls doing? in my chat?
Amazing, yeah.
Challenge mode.
You know what? You know what that challenge mode did for this week? It really highlights how buggy the hit detection in the game can be. Because when you chuck that thing, it's a bomb. It's a literal bomb. You chuck it at the door, and
Explodes.
it explodes, and it doesn't activate the switch. And it's like,
It's
really?
got to be right.
Yeah,
right
you gotta
in the
hit
circle.
it with the bomb and stuff. You can't rely on the explosion to do the damage to the switch. You gotta hit it head on.
You gotta
Yeah,
be super
it's gotta be literally
accurate.
direct on that. And even then, there's times where it's like, sorry, not today.
Not so much for you.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the challenge. I got tempered. My expectations were definitely tempered with the
Kingsfall?
Yeah.
Kingsfall ones because it's like I see what's going on. And it's not a more challenging mode. It's a challenge to do this in a different way. It might be harder. It might not, but it's a different way to do it.
Show you the easiest way to beat the raid.
Orcs. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would still argue that even the War Priest challenge was more challenging than hitting doors with a bomb.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it just seems like they didn't have an answer to it, and they're like, oh crap, we need to put a challenge mode in because they expect it. So I hope that Axis isn't the same, but I feel like Axis is going to be like, get X amount of tossing empowereds into the little red squares. Like,
the thing is,
I just figured it out.
The King's Fall was designed with challenge modes first. Like they,
and then they dialed it back.
And then they like dialed back. This one they couldn't possibly have designed it
like
with
an afterthought.
Yeah, it's an afterthought, or maybe like a I don't know.
Maybe research and development was like, guys, we can't just have these bombs be the only thing that can activate these switches. We have to let primer or other damage take care of it. And then they did that. Maybe they did actually do that first. It was like the only way to activate the clean rooms was the bombs, and they found that was just too difficult.
Yeah, maybe.
Jarvis asked, does DCP think the wave off heavy features just introduced in private matches should be an option in trials?
Yes.
Yep.
Definitely, yeah.
Although I will say, heavy round is way more interesting nowadays. Now there's only one. Like,
oh, it's great.
It's my favorite round whenever I do play trials. I'm like, let's rush for heavy. See who wins.
Yeah, it's informed what I want the changes in trials mode to be made. Like the way heavy mode has become my favorite, or heavy round has become my favorite round, has informed what I'd like them to do to change trials to make it more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
DD Gaming, are you guys playing Titanfall 2? If so, would you guys like to see wall running in Destiny?
Yes.
New subclass, wall runner?
Why?
No, I think all classes should be able to wall run. I like mobility. I think mobility is fun, but they would have to rework the entire game around it. Like every encounter, every PvE encounter, everything would have to be reworked. So I don't think it's worth it. But Titanfall 2 is really fun. I think it's a very special game.
It's really good.
It is a very good game.
Well.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
They did it really well. The campaign was fun. PvP is amazing.
What's super crazy is that during the tech test, I was like, this feels wrong. This feels clunky. It doesn't feel as good as the first one. And then now they fix like everything that I had an issue
That's what
with.
technical tests are for.
Right, yeah. That's why they call it a beta.
Test.
Anytime someone calls it a beta, it's a demo. But when they call it a tech test, they might actually listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing some great stuff.
It's a good game.
I really hope that the population population sticks around and like it maintains, because I don't want to see that game go the route of Titanfall 1. Yeah.
It had a rough release date between Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty.
I know, right? Makes me nervous.
Might have been wise to wait until like February for that one, but Brandon Rodriguez, should Bungie show a trailer for Destiny 2 at Guardian Con?
No. No, they
Answer
shouldn't.
that question.
No, they're
we
not
don't want
going
trailers.
To.
Go away.
No, I don't want Activision to try to own our event. No.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll pass.
There you go.
Joshua David Vanilla, how do you guys feel with the current state of Destiny? Is it fizzling out faster than we expected? Ideas to increase longevity.
It is fizzling out just as fast as I expected, which is similar to the rate of Taken King, honestly, even though Taken King had more content.
At this time last year, though, we weren't sure that we weren't going to get another DLC in like December or January.
Yeah,
we were thinking we were going to go to the PlayStation experience and get shown a DLC.
We know the roadmap to an extent through December, at least at this point. So, I don't know. I would say that community expectation is tempered more so this year, and I think that Bungie had better announce anything about Destiny 2 sooner than they started talking about Rise of Iron.
Definitely.
And if they do that, then I think we're in good shape, because this community lives off the next thing.
Yeah.
Period.
I completely agree on that. I really hope that they do start giving us, even just like February, let's get a poster, just something. So, or maybe just like a D2 with the Bungie logo, and so we know we have like something to So-
you know it's coming.
Exactly, to foam at the mouth over. And then a couple months later, we're going to have some actual details, and then E3, but please just keep the exotics under wrap. Don't show us the raid. Just
Unless
hype us.
it's a leak, I doubt we're going to see anything about Destiny 2 until E3. I think they're going to want that to be a big blowout, big announcement, main stage on the Sony booth or Sony presentation. Like I
hope they don't do that. I don't want that much pent up.
I think there's a good chance that Microsoft takes the exclusives this time.
You think?
Their deal is for Destiny 1. Microsoft, there's rumors about it coming to PC. Microsoft certainly wants to capitalize on parity between Xbox platform and Windows 10. You think
I'd be
Microsoft wants
surprised
to
if
throw
it
a lot
was
of money at
Destiny
it?
1 deal and not like a 10-year deal like it is for Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I think I just heard a lot of PS4 players catch their breath.
Sorry, guys. PS4 players out there, you need to come to terms with the reality that it is a possibility.
Yo, but that Scorpio's going to be dope.
Scorpio
I'm
is
just
going to be
saying.
dope.
It's a very
The best
extreme
pixels.
possibility.
The most
Pixels
beautiful
anywhere.
pixels.
Whatever
wouldn't be
the
surprised, though.
exclusives
I'd be
are
surprised
the
if it went
console
to
I'm on.
Xbox.
Well, it could be
I wouldn't
PC
be
though.
surprised
Or
if
PC,
it was
Xbox.
a 10. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a 10-year deal like they do with Call of Duty. Xbox had the Call of Duty exclusive content for like 10 years, and it was a huge success. And then Sony got that from Activision, and I wouldn't be surprised if they signed a similar deal, like a long-term deal. They knew that Destiny was going to be a 10-year cycle.
Here's what makes me think it's for Destiny 1. The debacle with the Taken King exclusives.
Mhm.
Because the exclusivity deal was likely through the end of Destiny 1. And Destiny 2 was originally supposed to release this year, 2016. And it was pushed back a year. And the Taken King exotics are not coming out on Xbox until 2017.
Mhm.
So it's my belief that the deal with the PlayStation exclusives for Taken King were through the life cycle of Destiny 1. I sincerely believe that their deal is for just the first generation of the game, and that there is a new there's a new conversation on the table between Bungie, Sony, and Microsoft.
Yeah, I'd love to be a fly on the wall for that conversation.
I would love to be.
Yeah.
I really hope they renegotiate and rework it for whatever. Not that I want it to go to one platform or another. I just want them to rework it so it's not what it is right now.
A year.
Yeah.
I don't want
a year.
a year.
First off, a year
It's
is ridiculous.
crazy.
Second off, it's content that literally gets changed, and a platform doesn't get to experience until a year later. For instance, Hawkmoon never being Hawkmoon on the Xbox ever.
Yeah.
It's
sure.
never been Hawkmoon on Xbox. It was
Ever. Yeah. And like
yeah.
PvP matches, PvP stuff, strikes, all that. Like they need to reduce that amount and make it cosmetics mostly. Like seriously.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I'd be
don't
fine
like the
with that.
idea. I don't like that idea. Every
Yeah,
time they
exclusive
put
ornaments,
exclusives,
stuff like that.
yeah,
That'd be fine.
Every time they put exclusives into a game, it splits our community, and I don't freaking like that at all.
Unfortunately, they'll probably remain a reality. So
Yeah,
Probably.
right.
it makes
Sector
money.
619, that can remain exclusive though.
They can
Fuck
keep
that
that.
map, dude. It's
Yeah.
so bad.
Imagine that map for
It is
trials. No
bad.
thanks.
Blink on that map, dude. I go off the edge every time. I swear to God.
I think we're gonna call it now that
Yeah.
guys are getting
Yeah.
kind of late for
It
some of
is.
us. Goth, thank you for joining
joy.
us. on this
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you.
If people want to find you or find out about any events that you're doing, where should they go?
Twitch.tv/KingGothalion or Twitter.com/Gothalion. Also, YouTube.com/KingGothalion.
Oh, you get the triple
Awesome.
trap.
That branding though.
Awesome. Well, everyone, thank you for tuning in. This was the 6th episode of the Destiny Community Podcast. I'm Patrick Casey. You can find me at Holtzmann_YT on the Twitter.
I'm Briar Rabbit. You can find me on Twitter at the Briar Rabbit. You can find me on Twitch by looking up for Briar Rabbit, and same goes for YouTube.
And I'm Tefty Teft. You can talk to me on twitter.com/Teft and at twitch.tv/Tefty Teft and YouTube search Tefty Teft as well. I do the things on the internet.
And I'm Miss 5000 Watts. You can find me at Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch at Miss 5000 Watts.
And as always, this has been Pope Bear. You can find me on Stroll in the Twitterverse at Pope Bear, or hanging out with these guys in their streams throughout the week.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
I won't be here.
All right, you can stop recording.